was that?
I don't know. Poseidon.
Yeah, are we live, Poseidon?
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Remember,
Guten
guys,
Morgen.
there's a special going on right now on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Pantelis. You sign up in the next 2 weeks for a yearly boss tier membership. You get cool ass merch. Look at this t-shirt. We got t-shirts such as this to give away for yearly boss tier people. It might last longer than 2 weeks. It might become a permanent thing because it seems to be a popular item. So we might just start doing that. Check out Poseidon this week. He's got a fun episode coming out of In Bed with Poseidon on Saturday at 4 p.m. His co-host Annabelle is back from her world tour in Vancouver. Same thing, same difference. And they have lots of stories. Who knows what she did? We're gonna find out what she did. She can tell some funny stories. I saw her eating some oysters and shit, so she's got stuff to talk about. When you're not doing that, check out Phil.
Yo.
This Sunday, Phil's dropping a brand new episode of, I was about to say In Bed with Phil. Fill My Hole. They both sound the same. They both sound as ridiculous as the other one.
Testament to the sick nature of your mind because you named both of them.
Yeah, that's true. I did name both those shows.
Do a collab.
Yeah, you should do it. Yeah. In
Poseidon
Poseidon's
my
hole.
Yeah, in Poseidon's hole.
In Holes with Poseidon. So, the In Holes with Poseidon. Copyright that.
In holes with Poseidon.
8 in the PM on Sundays when that show happens, a few hours after the weekly church session of Pantelis Live at 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's right.
Check that out. Also, links are in the description. Phil is busy again making people's commercials. If you are a real business and you want a real commercial so you don't look like any of these local village shops, you go to Phil, an actual filmmaker, make your professional commercial. Phil Balabanos' links are in the description. The man bringing us the news all the way from the South Shore from Brossard. It's Jiggity George Chandrizos of Just Us Dads fame. The only podcast made by moms for dads. New episodes of Just Us Dads drop weekly wherever you get your podcasts, including right here on the YouTubes. Links are in the description. Subscribe, share, tell your friends. George, what kind of news you bring to the table? By the way, I like your camera, George. You look really cool. I was going to tell you last week and I forgot.
Thanks, man. I just realized that I'm a little too zoomed in, so I'll just, yeah.
Bro, the closer the zoom, the bigger the George.
Yeah.
But I still haven't figured out how to sync the audio yet, guys. So I'm sorry about that. I've been trying all sorts of different things. It just doesn't seem to work.
I grew up watching Kung Fu movies, so it's fine.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Eventually we'll figure it out and it'll sound fucking normal. Phil, I love your shirt, man. I saw the stuff that you put there on the social media.
On the media. Yeah, I made this just for fun because my kids, I got an email saying, hey, it's Greek Independence Day. Don't forget to put your kids in blue and white. And I was like, that's too basic. I got to do something special. So I made them 2 shirts. I was like, I'll make myself one. And then a bunch of people DM'd me. So if anyone wants one, they're go to my Instagram, link in profile. I'm selling them for like 2 days and I'm going to stop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you have my sizes? Do you sell them in adult men's?
All men's sizes, all
Nice.
ladies sizes. But I don't have any. I don't have any stock. Like I'm not printing it myself. It's like I'm using Teespring like we do for this just thing.
You trying to fight me, Phil?
Yeah.
I was very excited.
I mean,
I wanted to have one ready for tomorrow.
Oh, you want it ready for tomorrow?
I wanted to walk around these streets
for the year. I mean, I can give you the file. You can go print it. You're not going to. I know you're not going to.
I'm
We
going to
can
send him.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you the file. Yeah.
I have an assistant. Yeah, we'll get it done.
Hey, you go see my
I want one too.
My Armenian buddies.
If we find a tarp big enough, yeah, we'll print one for you too.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a 200-year celebration muumuu.
Yes. Yeah. No, for real, I'll get you one too. If I send you, I'm gonna buy you a shirt too, obviously.
Okay.
It'd be a dick move not to.
Yeah, it would really be a piece of shit move.
Yeah, it's a big one this year, man. It's an important one.
I know.
Yes.
And someone forgot to tell all the Greek organizations in Canada, Quebec, because they did nothing.
Oh, they did nothing?
Nothing.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there's still 1 day left.
What are you worried about, George? We'll see.
We'll see. Maybe they got a surprise up their sleeve.
They're lighting up Niagara Falls in Ontario.
I've been very critical of our community in the past year, so I just like giving people credit. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's tomorrow, so we'll see. I don't know.
Giving everyone credit. I'm George.
I'm just gonna say something. You want to make fun of George? However, George has come a long way ever since we started this podcast. George,
this is not a podcast. Don't be one of those people.
This is a podcast, right?
This is not a podcast.
How is this not a podcast?
This is like I would call it a morning variety hour, 2 hour.
This is a podcast.
This is not a podcast.
This is 100% a podcast.
Not even a little.
This is on a podcast network. This is a fucking podcast.
Is it available in audio only format?
It is available for patrons on audio only format
Really?
starting last week. Yeah.
Liar! You just made.
I'm not. We started putting.
There's no way I can disprove him. I'm not a patron. I don't know.
He's not. You heard it here first, bro. He's not supporting the Patreon.
I support the product.
Spiro's
with
the
my
Patreon.
talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No, I think since we started the show, George has come a long way.
he has.
Because George used to be super far left.
No, I don't know if he was ever
And
super
then
far left.
he was super far left compared to me. And
What do you
then
mean? Compared to you, everyone is super far left.
Yes, true. And then he started to join me in the fun space, which is the middle. And then he's like, "Oh, maybe it's funner over there in the middle, because the right seems to be a little crazy. The left that I was part of also a little crazy. Maybe the middle, so I could judge everyone like Pantelis does."
There's only one person that was part of the left, and he's sitting in front of you.
That is true. You were a fucking communist. I've managed to break communists free, liberals. By liberal I mean the red and white free. Poseidon. I've managed to break mentally retarded
I don't
people.
know that I would
free.
give you the credit.
I'm
of
taking
me
the
not
credit.
being
I'm
a
taking the
communist
credit
anymore.
I'm taking the credit for being communist.
What do you mean? Taking me out of there?
No, but I think I'm your most anti-communist friend.
No, not at all.
Who's more anti-communist than me?
I mean, Ange?
Ange isn't more anti-communist than me. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Ange is pretty left-leaning, I think. No?
Not even a little bit.
Really? Because he has his original 21 stuff?
He makes spices. How does that make him
No,
a leftist?
it's the Ajax stuff, the hooligan. So there's different groups, right?
Yeah.
So he's a big original supporter. Original
I think you're
to
mixing
the
up
left
the
wing.
name of his company with his support. Is
No, the
Original
reason why
86.
he took Original 86 is because of Original 21. I know this because he is an Ajax fan like me.
Actually, that was not the original name of the company. It's just that he couldn't get the name he wanted.
Just saying that's why he has that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I almost joked.
I'm telling you, I'm just telling you.
I was trying to be funny and I almost
There's nothing to like or not like. That's the truth.
I
I'm
didn't
just
know
saying,
that.
and they're very left. That's why I don't like them. As that I love the team, but I don't like that
know
group.
that he knows that.
I don't like that group because they're super far left.
No, but no, he's very conservative in his beliefs. Like last night, he was texting me all this crazy stuff about Montreal. He was going hard. He's like, "We didn't do anything, and there should be flags."
But I'm not conservative.
What?
I'm not conservative.
I said he's way more conservative than.
Oh,
you.
he's probably
I'm not
is.
saying
Yeah,
you're
he probably is.
conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, yeah, I mean, it is worrying to see that the other major cities across the world have done so many things. Like you
do
saw
the
what's
same thing.
happening
So
in
much
Sydney.
fun.
They're illuminating the Opera House, bridges, monuments, all sorts of things happening all over the world. And
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. I mean, we still haven't seen anything.
I found out from an insider source.
Well, what do you want them to do here? Light up a massage parlor?
No, but
Yes.
we have the
Yeah,
we have the
okay.
Champlain Bridge, we have the Jacques Cartier Bridge. There's this Montreal City Hall. There's the Parliament.
I mean, the Jacques Cartier
in
Bridge,
Ottawa and
George?
Quebec. There's plenty of things we
But
can do.
everything you just said, everything you named, means nothing to Greeks.
That's true. That's true.
It's not that it means nothing to Greeks. It's just obviously you're looking at the symbolic contribution of the society in which they've been living for.
Well, they
what,
passed a motion, George, at Montreal City Hall to recognize
Come on,
our contribution.
They do that every year, man. I used
I
to
know.
draft one
I know.
every single year. A motion is just okay. Today we're recognizing such and such event. Thank you very much. It passes. Like obviously nobody's gonna block that, but it goes beyond that. It goes, I mean, the same way that every single year for St. Patrick's Day, you have buildings downtown that are putting up the green lights. The bridges are in green. Like everything happens.
I mean,
right?
the bridges are easy to do too. The LEDs are there.
But I don't blame the city or the
but
province.
The point is that I just don't feel like our community has opened up yet into the Quebec society. I mean, we're still into this little bubble where
It's
we
true.
think, oh yeah, we're a major community, but we're just amongst ourselves.
He's right.
There's nothing happening. There's no lobbying. There's no outside activity. And
I mean, all of those things existed at some
I saw a
point.
post
But
online.
just
we're
for
not
us,
gonna.
he's
Yeah.
100% right. Other
They used to-
communities have integrated better. Like let's say the Irish, for example, they've been here for long too.
I mean,
but
you can't use the Irish as an example. They're part of the.
are they a
very
protected class?
Yeah, of course, they're drunks, so they have a mental. Can't make fun of them. No, they've been here longer than.
Of course, they've been longer.
It's not even, no, sorry, not longer than us.
It's-
That's not what I'm saying, George. The Italians have mob money. That's different. They can just sell fun things. But for the Irish are part of the founding roots of the city.
Right.
100%.
It has nothing. It's a completely different kind.
Well, no, because you know
No
who
one's
else is
really
part of the
Irish
founding.
anymore.
I know, but you know who else is part of the founding roots of the city?
What?
The natives, and they've been thrown away into a reserve.
No,
so it
they
doesn't
were
matter
put
how
down
old.
with the roots under.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are. It's you have to have lobbies. You have to because the Caribbean festivals that happen
the Irish
downtown.
don't have a
we never
lobby.
go downtown. Us everything we did, everything we organized was locally in our neighborhoods, in our little subculture.
At some point, you used to the festival at the Old Port, which was very successful, and that
I remember.
stopped because they couldn't accommodate every single ethnic
Yeah.
community.
And
So
Greek people didn't
whatever,
like that there was no
That
parking.
was the decision that was in our control. But all I'm saying is that, and it's not only for this, I've seen it many times and for other things, right?
Yeah.
We're absent in Quebec society, at least that's what I think, and based on what I've seen in my experience. And it's funny because I on Facebook a couple days ago, and we're not going to say names because it's not important.
Let's do it. Name them.
no,
Call them.
no.
Dox them.
but someone like a rather prominent person in the community posted something and saying, I'm seeing all these things happening in all these major cities. I'm just wondering what our community is doing. And someone from the board of our community came on and said, well, we are talking with people, and we're trying to see if certain things and different things could be done. And then and then that person writes, but if nothing happened, it's not because we didn't try.
Well, it clearly is because you didn't try. So
I know. I did not see this comment, but I know exactly who wrote it.
It's like you're setting everything up. It's like, listen, guys, we're
trying, but
this is it. This is we're at the peak of our mediocrity. It's not because we didn't try, just so you could know. We're putting it out there already in advance.
If me and Phil had free time, we would run the show, but we don't have free time. We're busy men. He's got a family, 2 kids. I got one giant
I was on the board for a while.
I was on the board with you, and then I left because they were stealing money.
You're on a regional board.
Yeah.
It's not the same. I was using my nepotism to its fullest potential.
I didn't want to use any nepotism. I got in there. I thought, all right, we're going to shake them down. And then it ended up everyone's like, no, that's what we do here is steal. Shut up. Stop talking. So I left.
Whoa. Okay.
So, I mean, look, I just think
sad,
that more
George.
stuff could have happened. Of course, it's unfortunate that the pandemic, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So maybe they had organized things that unfortunately had to be canceled because of the restrictions. But at the same time, I mean, these things.
George. I won't name names, but an MP reached out to me on behalf of the Greek embassy. Forget the community.
Oh,
the
Greek
embassy. To help them with something. And I was like, what happened? Did the person who's been working on this all this time, leave? They're like, no, we just started. I go, it's the 20th. It's literally March 20th. I was like, all right, I'll help out. I don't care. I'll do it. But it's March 20th. Guys.
I mean, there is nothing more Greek than last minute.
Yeah.
Even the revolution was last minute. They started on the 23rd. They're like, should we do this? Let's do this.
I got nothing to do, George. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a big holiday too. Let's do it.
No, that was in preparation years before.
No, we're just busting balls.
Decade of planning.
We're making the yokes.
You're right.
I mean,
you know that it's the 200th anniversary, right? I mean,
we've known for how long, George? 200 years.
Yeah, exactly. You've known that this date is coming. Like it's another 100 years. Obviously, it's gonna come. We're not gonna be there. So
speak for yourself.
I knew he was gonna say it. Fucking Omega Man over here.
But I mean, prepare
a little how to deal with that. I remember my dad 8 years ago saying we should start making preparations for the bicentennial. People were like, "What are you drunk? 8 years we can't plan 6 months in the future." And he tried. He was like, "Maybe we should lay down the ground." They're like, "No." He's like, "All right, fuck it."
He had to have that. He had to have that sobering moment where he's sitting down. He's like, "I'm surrounded by imbeciles."
Honestly, your dad, I'm not saying this because, we're here and it's you.
He's
and
watching,
I've said this before. He was the most forward-thinking person that I've worked with at the community. And he was also at that time where most of the shit hit the fan.
But when people talk about that period where shit hit the fan, it's funny because a lot of shit hit the fan during that period.
Shit,
Nobody talks about that period. They talk about the period right before.
Like as a good thing, you mean?
My dad weathered it well, optically.
Yeah, it was because he took it seriously. He's like, yo, people voted.
No, that's not the point. The point is that he is a person that knows how to collaborate, and and he understands that communication is important. If there was any other person in charge of the community that we've seen in the last 10, 15 years, other than him, I can guarantee you that things would have closed down. Maybe schools wouldn't exist. For sure, daycares. Some daycares.
I've said this about my dad before. My dad basically, imagine me and all the ego that comes with me. The opposite. My dad doesn't function on ego. He functions on a sense of moral obligation. He felt an obligation to the community to do something. I mean, yeah, there's a bit of ego in there for sure. Everyone has it. I'm not saying he's he's not a saint.
No. I really don't think so. Your dad is just one of those people that was very open to people's suggestions.
Which makes sense.
Whenever there was a problem, what do we do?
George, we're going to cut you off right there because
the fans are in revolt.
Yeah, which makes sense. It just turns super, super inside baseball. It's super, super Montreal Greek.
Sorry, guys.
George, bring us some goddamn news before I flip this fucking table.
All right. Let's stick with the positive stuff first. And actually, there's a few this time around, not only one. there seems to be a door open for the Quebec government to invest money in a potential future baseball stadium. Obviously, that says nothing to me, but maybe there are baseball fans out there that probably see this as a very positive thing. So, I mean, Quebec Premier François Legault was questioned yesterday on the possibility of offering public funds for this potential stadium, and this came after Claridge. Claridge is the investment firm run by Stephen Bronfman, who is kind of at the head of this whole movement. So that company registered in the Quebec Lobbying Registry. So they registered in the Quebec Lobbying Registry in order to approach the government for financial contribution. So that's why he was questioned, and he left the door open. Basically, what he said is that if it makes sense and if there's enough return for Quebec and for the city of Montreal, then why not give money? I mean, if we're going to invest in a stadium that is going to bring in, I don't know how many players play in a team and whatever, all that organization that is going to be taxed here in Quebec and that is going to stimulate the economy around the downtown core, and it's going to stimulate the growth in restaurants and
how will it stimulate the growth in restaurants?
They'll find a way to lie.
They'll just buy like Lester's footlongs at the stadium for $12.55.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's a whole side industry too. I mean, if the stadium is downtown, look at the Bell Center. I mean, the game's downtown. I mean, people go eat before the games.
But
I mean,
people also like hockey.
I mean, there is a baseball. There's
That's
a lot
the
of people
big
who
thing.
Love
But at the same time, look, I'm not a baseball fan, but I cannot reject the fact that perhaps maybe baseball would have worked if the stadium wasn't in the East End and they would have built the stadium downtown.
True.
You don't know. I mean, look what happened with the Alouettes. When the Alouettes came back and they put them at the old at the Olympic Stadium, it wasn't going anywhere. And then they built the stadium on McGill.
And nobody likes the East End. It's just that simple.
It's not that. It's just because it's a whole business thing too, right? Of course, there's a whole family
around
aspect.
there.
Let's go watch the game. But the guys, all the businesses guys downtown, they buy season tickets. They're taking their clients. I mean, it's this whole environment thing that seems to work. So maybe baseball wouldn't have ended if that had happened downtown. I don't know. But look, for all the baseball,
I think it wouldn't have ended if the baseball strike didn't fuck over the Montreal Expos when they were supposed to win. I think that's what ruined it.
I don't know anything about what you just described.
The Expos had a season where they were
the best team.
They
were going to win. That was in '93 with a strike, I think.
That was when they went on strike. The league went on strike, so they couldn't win.
And then everyone left the team, right?
Yeah.
So, but look, at the same time, these things happen, right? I mean, strikes have happened in hockey as well. It doesn't really affect your fan base if there is a fan base. So, I just think
George, question. I saw I guess he was a minister or somebody from the CAC government yesterday saying, I can't in good conscience give all this money and tell families in Quebec who are suffering that the money is more important. That it's more important to have a baseball team than to help them, right?
I'm with him there.
It wasn't the CAC. This is my next point, because the oppositions now, the opposition parties in Quebec are, they're not really against having a baseball team or building a stadium, but at the same time, they're questioning if whether or not that's the best place to invest public funds, where you have senior residences.
So they've been vocal about this, right?
Yes, they are being vocal.
So how come they didn't use the exact same fucking argument when the OQLF started fucking burning money?
Because
I don't think it's the same amount of money, but yeah, you're right.
No, because that argument that they made, that's what I'm getting at. You could say that about anything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're wrong. I agree with them in this instance. But
you're right.
Montreal now is becoming a whatever they're doing with the OQLF. They're going to have satellite offices and bullshit. And we're going to have like a mandatory way to greet people. Like, bonjour.
You're going to love what I have for you.
We're going to have a mandatory way to great people for real?
They're going to make it mandatory to say
guys,
bonjour.
one thing. When we're talking about government funding, I don't think it's going to be like in the realm of the 15-20 million that they granted to the Office de la Langue Française. Like, it's going to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars, right? I mean, it's next level. So we can't really compare.
You can compare.
I kind of agree with the leaders of the opposition. I don't know if I don't know. I mean, I think there's more things that could be done to help, for example, the health sector, the seniors. There's mental health issues now that we're seeing. There's a lot more places where this money could go. Look, that's. I mean, it's left to debate. I mean, I'm sure that the sports fans are like, "Fuck that shit! I want my stadium." Who knows, man? I don't know.
I literally only know one person who loves baseball in my whole social circle, and they're like, "Meh."
Well, it's not even whether you like baseball or not. I go back to what that guy in the government said: is are we taking money away from people's table? That's all I care about. If no program's gonna get hurt from it, I don't give a shit.
What are you snacking on over there? What's going on? I hear aluminum foil opening up.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're eating pasticcio right now?
No,
You're
I'm
eating
just
pasticcio in the
looking at it.
morning.
I'm just looking at it. I'm just,
Dude, it's that clock, man. What the fuck?
I'm hungry, but I don't know if I could drop a pasticcio right now. Like all that bechamel at 10 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, in
You
more
make
good
me sick
news,
and
there was
proud.
an announcement made the other day in collaboration with the federal government. We're talking about over $825 million.
Collaborate
and listen.
So you guys saw you
Yeah,
saw
we
the
saw
video.
your video clip. Nice editing, George. Well done for a layman. You did okay.
Thank
I mean, there was some cringy moments, but it was good. It was better than I expected. So
So a huge announcement that comes in collaboration with with the federal government. We're talking about
Why
over
are you still laughing?
$825 million for Quebec to put in place all the infrastructure required to get high-speed internet to the regions. People may not believe this, but there are certain regions in Quebec that don't have high-speed internet.
That was amazing. They need to get high speed into the regions.
What was
These fucking villagers.
no, bro, because you know
And
what he's
their
doing. Right?
internet.
He's excited that now living in the regions, he'll have access to high-speed pornography.
Are you considered the region's George?
He is. No.
No, we're considered Greater Montreal.
The
But
the
yeah, no,
banlieue.
I mean there are I have a place up north. There is no high-speed internet.
Fucking
up
George,
so-
just like, bro, I have a place up north. I have a big house in Brossard. I have my own studio.
yeah, okay.
I love George. When I grow up, I want to be George.
So anyway, but here, there's obviously an end to this, right? I mean, there's
What?
there's a bigger purpose to this, and here's where it comes. Because when you're reading further down the announcement, it says that they want to provide this for 150,000 houses in these regions by 2022, and
That's
by
soon.
2022, guess what? Guess what that is? It's an
Election year.
election.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. And it's just funny that there's all these interesting things happening now with Trudeau and Legault, because don't forget that he's also looking into getting an election going, probably before or in the beginning of the summer. So it's funny how things have changed now. They no longer hate each other. They're buddy. What do you need? Let's go. Let's throw some cash.
Oh,
We
Le
gotta
Gros.
wait
Le
electors.
Gros.
You know what I mean? Last week, I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but they invested over $100 million in Lyon. It's a company that will make electric batteries in Saint Jerome.
Yeah.
They
Nice. I
already
can't wait till they
manufacture-
poison all the water.
What'd you say?
I can't wait till they poison all the water with lithium, and that's a new thing.
Should I get a grant guy, you think?
A guy named Grant?
No, someone was
Like
bringing
a-
this
like
up
a
to me
wasp?
last week when I was talking with your clients over here.
Yeah, you should-
My
For what
clients.
Pantelis
Oh,
Comedy
yeah.
does, you know?
Yeah.
We could, because they have grants for the arts. And we're more established than a lot of people who actually get the grants, and there's no one else doing this in our field.
But we're not snowflakes.
There's a lot of stuff out there, I'm sure, for you to go grab. One of the most valuable resources that some organizations had that I used to work with were people that were called grant seekers. And
Exactly.
these guys knew every single freaking program, federal, provincial, municipal, even at the private sector. You know, some banks like the Caisse des Jardins, they have
Where do we
programs
find these guys, George?
well, we're gonna get back to the community. I don't want to
Because
dwell on it, but they
these
had
can tell us
one.
after the show. But you know what's good about them is they get paid percentage off what they get off grants.
Yeah.
So if they're unsuccessful, it's not like you pay.
Yeah, exactly.
So they need to work hard.
Exactly.
That's-
So they do
that's
their job and they do it well. I
meritocracy at
worked
its
with
best.
one actually that used to work at the community, at the Greek community. She was fantastic. She used to get them all sorts of money, and somehow I don't know
George,
why
you're connecting us with her.
they fired her. Like imagine they got rid of her. So
I have
anyway,
no
A
idea who you're
free
talking
employee that's giving you money.
about. No, it's
so
not free.
that's where
She's
on
free.
that's
payroll,
when I
though.
found out about these
She worked
people.
there.
She was
You
very
know that
very.
for a fact?
I think I know who he's talking about. She worked.
Is that how it
there.
worked? Because he said the grant seekers.
No, no,
did.
but she worked for the community. Right,
Oh.
Yeah.
George? Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Okay, they needed to. But George, connect me with her if you think she could get us some grants. I'll give her money.
I had reached out to her a while back when I was still working because I wanted to help other organizations. She had an exclusivity clause because she was working somewhere in the West Island and she couldn't. She was.
I'll pay her if
exclusive,
she wants on the
But
side. Don't worry.
I
That's
don't
money.
know. Maybe she's retired now. I have no idea. Maybe I can reach out to her. But she was fantastic. Honestly, she knew everything, and that was her job, right? And she did it. She did a great job. So
I want to
anyway,
do something
so that-
stupid like that and just collect money, that just free money. Like why? Why are there so many LED lights everywhere?
best
Because we
lighting-
had the money.
The best money from the government is development money because you don't actually need to ever produce anything. You're just getting paid.
Well, we produce crazy shit.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not like they're gonna be like, "Hey, where's that movie? Where's that show?" We're like, it's in development. It's in
Well,
development.
for me, they're gonna be like, "Where is it?" Like, it's right there, bro. This is what your money
Yeah.
bought you. In Bed with Poseidon Part 2.
So yeah,
should start
so
blurring your
hopefully by
face during the
2022 we're
episodes.
gonna have internet in the regions. It's a good thing, but obviously it's a pre-election scheme, I think, which is normal. I mean, it happens every 4 years, right? The other good news, and we're gonna be done with the good news because
Is this about the shootings in Alaska?
Colorado,
Colorado.
Alaska, and Colorado. I mix them up too all the time.
No, good news. Amazon is going to be launching a game studio, a game production studio in Montreal. I
That's
don't know
cool.
if Pantelis, you saw that. That's
Of
pretty
course,
cool.
I saw that. I am on all the game news.
So we don't have a lot of details though. They're very secretive on the investments and
Those
exactly
Gazites.
what they're going to be doing. We just know that they're coming in Montreal. They released a couple names of huge people that contributed to, I think, Rainbow Six and some other major games that were very successful. So it's a huge thing, of course. And I think we've spoken about this in other episodes. Montreal has, in the last maybe 10 years, become a real hub in high tech. In fact, I read somewhere that it ranks among the highest in the world in the gaming industry here in Montreal.
You're welcome.
So it's good news. It means more jobs.
He
it
built
means
that
more
whole
investment.
empire. He
What'd
did
you
it.
say?
It was him. Him and Gigi built it. For everyone.
Single-handedly. Single-handedly.
That's
With
it.
one hand
Oh.
tied behind their backs. Just so you know. But, history lesson over, George. Go on.
So that's it. So I mean, it's good
I love
news.
how he just goes on.
He's like, shut up, dummies.
I have news. There's a list here, bro. It took me 6 hours to compile it. You fuckers, you show up.
I like how organized you
2
are,
minutes
George, and
before
I
you
like
just
how we
roll
fuck up
in.
your shit.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I don't mind. I just, put up some stuff here. So yeah, anyway, so that's it.
They're,
I'm trying to be nice.
Oh, hold on. Poseidon wants to chime in.
they're making
Do it.
a colonial MMO.
Oh, nice.
New
A
world.
colonial MMO?
MMO.
What's an MMO stand for?
It's
Massively multiplayer
yeah.
online.
Okay. Colonial. So like
I love how I know that I'm such a nerd.
everybody knows that.
Nerd. So what? Basically, you're gonna just come to Hochelaga and kill a bunch of Iroquois.
No, it's like colonial. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Well, that's what they're calling it. And they are dressed a bit like colonials. They have the hats and shit.
Well, I would assume so based on the title. Yeah, that would make sense. That'd be I would like to play a game in colonial times. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
You just got muskets
Oh,
and
no,
shit.
it's not in colonial times. It's
You're colonizing.
yeah, that's the theme.
Oh,
of it. Yeah.
okay,
But
okay.
and they kind of take the theme of colonials at the time coming here.
So it is
Oh,
about
okay.
colonial.
So it is,
times.
but it isn't because you don't understand it.
Look, whatever, bro.
Eat your pasticcio, fatso.
Go fuck yourself.
Pastis are so good, man.
It really is so fucking good.
Not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Really?
Really?
What? What is it you don't like about it?
Oh wow! All right, Inquisition.
Guy, everybody loves pasticcio.
I'm not a super big fan of meat and like cream. Meat and cheese I can do, but meat and like that cream, it feels weird to me. It's like a weird mix.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I would eat it without the pasta. Like those two together are fantastic.
Many people would. Yes, most people would. Not me.
I'm surprised.
It's basically macaroni à mekima and then bechamel on top.
Yeah, I think that's my thing. It might be the
It doesn't
bechamel.
like. I know. I've met people who don't like bechamel.
Well, it's funny because my youngest brother is the same way. What he does is he takes off the bechamel and he eats. And I'm like, you're
That's
just
stupid.
I'm like, what's the? He goes, and he goes, I love pasticcio.
like
I go, no,
eating-
you
it's like
don't.
eating
You're just
pasta with meat.
You're just
Yeah.
eating
you're just
pasta
eating
with
macaroni à
bolognese.
mekima. I go,
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I like the bechamel. It's delicious.
Yeah, I don't judge anyone who does. It's one of the
like
world's
creamy
most
and
popular
salty,
dishes. I'm
yeah.
just saying.
Well, so between pastis and moussaka, what do you prefer?
Moussaka is disgusting.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
disgusting.
moussaka.
I don't like
Yeah.
eggplants cooked that way.
Yeah, me too. I'm a pasticcio guy.
Yeah. You seem like a pasticcio guy, George.
I'm more of a cotan patatas to furno type of guy.
Yeah.
Nobody can argue that. A little chicken, a little potatoes, some limoni,
Yeah, that's it. I'm a simple
I'm a
man, George.
meat and taters.
It doesn't take much to keep me happy.
Chicken soup also.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
okay.
You're not just naming every food.
I like the food that you eat in your mouth.
So yeah, George,
dog?
that is a German Shepherd. What did we say about Germans in the fucking in the building? Anyways, George. Okay, so they're opening up a video game studio. What? Now let's get to the bad news.
Okay, yeah, let's get your blood boiling.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to start with Montreal.
Wait, I wanna
Valerie
do
Plante
something
is
before
obviously
we start.
preparing for her election at the end of
okay.
this year in November.
Valerie Plant.
Yeah,
Stop,
the plan.
Simon, can you stop that?
So,
He's opening up his aluminum so he can eat with
You're gonna
his
eat
hands.
after the episode because you don't even have a fork and a knife. You're gonna eat with your fucking hands like a goddamn beast. Do it after the show.
Yeah,
George,
I was gonna
do
go-
the setup. I'm gonna go make myself a. Everybody want a coffee? You guys have
I
it.
got it,
I'll
I
be
got
right
it.
back.
Thank you.
my
Coffee
God.
to get through
Tell
this.
me,
So, yeah,
G.
so things are starting to really move in Montreal, and obviously makes sense. You know, there's an election on the horizon. We're going to be seeing, I think, more and more announcements in the coming months that will appear much more of a platform more than anything else. So she announced the other day, actually, this is in collaboration with the Quebec government, $25 million to give a new life to the downtown core. So this is something that honestly, I just don't seem to get it. Basically, what she wants, you know, with the help of the government, she wants to make downtown attractive again. She wants to make it a destination where people can just come back to the core and, you know, stimulate a little the economy. I know, I see you breathing, buddy. And especially since this year the festivals, they most likely seem to they will remain on pause. So this is her plan. So she wants to obviously have much more attractive urban spaces, larger sidewalks with larger terraces. She wants more shows and performances, at least for now, in the spaces that will allow it. She wants to put in place a strategy for the offices to start reopening, so that she's relying on the collaboration of all the business owners downtown. Some of the initiatives will include, for example, very low cost for restaurants to open terraces, which I actually like. You know, $50,
Yeah.
which is really, you know, nothing. And especially if they're going to allow them to have much larger terraces, it's going to be that for me, I have no problem with it. Free parking on the weekends, which is also interesting. She wants to revitalize Chinatown. Chinatown. I'm not sure how.
Disinfectant.
She wants to spend money on having a huge publicity campaign on Montreal's gastronomy. Also, and this I'm expecting to see because I don't believe it. No construction anywhere downtown. So
Yeah, okay.
we'll wait and see what that's going to look like. So look, the initiatives make sense to me,
Not all of them.
but the explanation is I don't know. It seems to be like kind of two parallel things that are kind of gonna just spread out more. I mean, I don't know. These
Let me
sidewalk
tag in there
businesses-
as the voice of every Montreal psychotic. All right, listen up. All right, this is going directly to Valerie Plante. I don't want to call you stupid. However, let me say something, dummy. The reason why people aren't fucking downtown and the reason why it's not working is not because there's not enough sword swallowers on the fucking street. It's because businesses are closing down. You'd be better off looking at these measures, helping people pay their fucking rent so they could stay open so people could go downtown. Nobody's like, you know why I haven't been downtown? I haven't seen a guy set himself on fire yet. That would have been hilarious. That's not why. It's not murals. It's not lack of murals that people aren't going downtown. People want to support downtown. But the businesses shut the fuck down. They shut down because you didn't help them. That's why people aren't downtown. What is this nonsense? People aren't going downtown because there's not enough murals. You're fucking crazy. Carry on, George.
Yeah. So that's the part that I don't understand either. But I mean, the incentives, for example, for the restaurateurs to have larger terraces, I think
Amazing.
may attract people. The fact that there's no parking costs on the weekends is going to be great. At the same time, where the fuck are you going to park your car since you're going to enlarge the sidewalks? So that's a big question mark for me. Who knows? I don't know. And I didn't notice this because I don't usually go that often into Montreal anymore. But did you guys know that the old port now, that whole de la Commune, is it de la Commune, that main
De la
street,
Commune, yeah.
it's closed down.
I didn't know that.
For what reason? Like as a pedestrian walkway or just because?
Just pedestrian.
I mean,
Like the whole
no,
thing, I
didn't
think,
know that.
is it up to St. Lawrence? I think from St. Lawrence
probably.
going west, it's all closed.
I mean, how do you access all the parking lots
Is that
down
a
there?
street?
I don't know. I have no fucking clue.
I used to work down there. I had many adventures down there.
I've had adventures. It's where I used to take the ladies to impress them on first dates.
I took a couple ladies there.
It's classic. It's a classic move.
Yeah,
worked
so
out for me. I
again,
got
I
two
don't know
kids.
how the cars are going to get to these places in Montreal in order to enjoy all these things that she's announcing. I don't know, man. I guess we'll have to see. It is sad that the downtown has
How many times are we going to talk about this? So she killed downtown. We're killing the conversation.
No, the reason why, because you brought it up, is because
you missed the whole thing here.
Yeah, because
I'm assuming I know what you said.
They're putting in money to revitalize. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Okay.
So part of the stuff was cheaper permits for terraces, which is amazing. And that, but the main money is going for mini festivals, sword swallowers, painting murals. And I lost my mind because the reason why people aren't going downtown is not because of a lack of sword swallowers. It's because everything is closed and you haven't helped these businesses.
I mean, if anything, if you go east of Saint Laurent, there's lots of sword swallowers.
If you would just help those businesses stay afloat, right? Open up, people will go to them because people are looking for a reason to go out. Let them go out. First of all, bars are closed. You're not even allowing them to be open. So why would I go downtown?
Right?
Why would I? Let's say the Bordel right now. We're waiting for it to reopen
tomorrow, right?
I think it's opening tomorrow. Yeah. So why would I go downtown?
Emil told me yesterday.
Why would I go downtown before anything is open? You're like, I wonder why no one's here. Because everything's fucking closed. What do you want people to do? Window shop
really
at boarded up places? It doesn't make sense.
Downtown.
Look, the idea based on what the government had announced, that they're projecting that everyone that would want to get vaccinated will be able to do so by the end of June. It means that you still have a good chunk of the summer left available. Maybe they're projecting that by then things are going to be...
No, George, but it's first dose by June.
Yeah, the first dose.
You
exactly.
still can't do anything different after your first dose, they're saying, right? It's the same shit.
I don't know. Are they projecting that things are going to open? I mean, I don't know. I'm on the same page.
I guess they're just saying stuff.
Yeah, I have a question for you, George. George, I have a question. George, I have a question because you would know. So let's say right now I get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And then let's say I get vaccinated with my second dose. And I've been dosed. Okay.
Those doses, yeah.
Do I still have to go around with my mask and live life like we do now?
Yes.
Follow-up question, George. So if I have been fully vaccinated and Poseidon hasn't been fully vaccinated and we're both at a venue downtown at a bar, and would you be able to tell the difference?
No.
So then everybody can fuck right off. If we're going to live life the same way, then how would they even know? Because they're like, everybody...
Pause. I understand what you're saying in general, but I didn't understand your example at all.
Yeah, my example is right now, if he's vaccinated and I am not vaccinated and we're downtown and he's not living any differently than I am, how would you know which one of us is vaccinated?
Follow-up
question.
In the same exact scenario, if he's not vaccinated and you're vaccinated,
correct,
those doses.
Yeah.
How would I, the patron or like another patron or a business owner, know which one of you should be okay to not wear a mask without having to ask you to present documentation, which is wrong?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
In that regard.
And since we're not presenting documentation and we're living the same way, the same rules apply, and you won't know, why would people that are on the fence, because they said everybody who wants it could get vaccinated, why would people who are on the fence run to get it? Because initially they said run to get your vaccine, you can be able to go back to normal quicker.
I mean, for me, it was never a question of going back to normal. It was a question of taking away the threat of potentially getting sick. That's all that matters. Who cares about everything else? Everything else will come in time. Like, I'm getting vaccinated on Sunday. I'm getting my first dose. We're part. George is like, what? Me too. I want, bro. No, we're part of a pilot project. Parents.
It's a project with pilots.
Yeah, they're flying in. No, it's actually been a big scandal because people are mad that we were effectively able to jump the line. But it's for all the parents and teachers of schools in that sector, because that's where all the cases are now. Like they're clustered in.
It's funny. It's funny because It's funny that you're mentioning this because I was gonna talk about a plan.
What I was just trying to say, George. I was gonna ask the question is, let's say the people who own the restaurant or the bar, they're not, because we're not living in those times, they're not allowed to ask for your documentation of your vaccination papers, right?
Right.
So they can't give you special treatment even if you were vaccinated.
Right.
So the whole thing of, speed it up so you get back to normal, what I'm saying, because that was a motivation in the beginning. They go, you're tired of this, you want to get back to normal? Don't worry, the vaccines are going to roll out. When you have a chance, get them right away. But now a lot of people are going to be like, I don't want to take a chance taking any of these fucking vaccines. It's not going to change anything for me on my day-to-day. So I'm saying
it changes your risk factor, right? That's all.
The idea is that the more people that take the vaccine, the higher chances you have of eliminating that curve quicker. And if that happens, then obviously things are going to go back to normal quicker as well.
I heard we're going into endemic stages.
I don't know if that's true.
That's what I read yesterday in an article. They said that we're going into, it's just going to be part of natural life on Earth.
Yeah,
I
know,
guess.
it's
I mean, the
scary
flu
shit,
is endemic.
Yeah.
So is malaria in certain regions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and don't forget about this whole passport thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they implement it. I mean, look what's happening in Europe. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah.
The Council of Europe approved, and it's funny because it was actually Greece's plan to have that because Greece relies so heavily on tourism that they wanted for the European Union to implement a digital vaccine passport, where if you get vaccinated, you can travel freely across Europe. And they passed it, so they approved it. In the beginning, there was a little reluctance, but finally they all understood maybe the advantages of taking advantage of this tourism season.
Well, Greece is not doing well right now, like pandemic-wise.
Well, they're not
They have a
bad.
lot.
I mean,
Like,
it's
they're
not
having
as
their
bad
first
as in
wave
other
now.
countries. I mean, they've done much better than anyone would have guessed in the beginning. And again, don't forget, these guys are relying heavily now in May to open up their tourism industry. So
Yeah.
they want to move quick. They have no choice. I mean, it's such a huge part of their economy.
The way I see it, because I had this conversation with my wife when we got the letter that said we could get vaccinated. We were like, oh, that's great. Now, and because we both were like, we'll get it eventually, but we were kind of hoping more people would have gotten it. So when our turn came up, we were like, oh, shit. Okay.
So you're probably getting the AstraZeneca one?
I'm going to the same place my grandfather went, the same center, and he got a Pfizer vaccine. So I don't know what I'm getting.
I want to get the KFC one.
I mean, if I'm going to get a vaccine, I want the new ones. Like, I want the fancy shit.
Gravy.
Could you imagine? Sir, you cannot inject gravy into your system. The fuck I can't.
But like, it was a weird. I realized I was thinking about it, I'm like, why am I terrified to do something that I've done before?
Well, because it is different.
I mean, it is different. I mean, the AstraZeneca vaccine isn't different. It's a traditional vector viral vaccine.
And that's the one that they said has the chance of blood
Potential
clots.
for blood clots in women. Like, there's only like 3 out of the 30 cases that are very specific for the vaccine so far. I spoke with a bunch of friends of mine who work in medicine, and they're like, it doesn't seem like it's any more dangerous than like fucking taking an Advil at this point. The mRNA vaccines are the ones that are different, that are scaring people. The traditional vaccines.
The mRNA, that's Pfizer.
Pfizer and Moderna.
Fuck, all of it, man. I'm gonna wait.
Honestly, for me, like, I'm not terrified of getting the flu. Like, I don't think the flu is gonna kill me. I still get a flu shot because I have kids. Right?
I'm convinced I was misdiagnosed last year in March. I'm convinced that I wasted $1,000. I'm convinced I had it last year.
I told you wasted $1,000. You never did a COVID test. You did every other test.
Yeah.
Except for COVID.
Well, good news. I don't have AIDS.
That's true. That's true. So, like, when my turn came and we were hesitant, I'm like, why are we being hesitant? Like, who the fuck cares? Let's just do it. So we're going to do it, and then we'll get our second doses in July. And, like, I want to be able to see my grandparents safely again. They're 90. Like, how long are they going to live? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know my mom wants to do it. My dad's like, no 5G for me.
Good job, Bill.
Yeah. But, and, like, we actually got into, like, a really awkward conversation in, like, our family thread, which is, like, my dad, my sister, her husband, my wife, my aunts. And all of a sudden, I was like, wait, they're not getting vaccinated? Okay, because I didn't expect it from certain people. And my sister, who's like we all need to get vaccinated.
I don't like your attitude. I want to go on record right now saying I respect your father's decision. Bill, it's your body,
I'm not talking
your
about
choice.
my dad. I'm not talking about my dad. My dad, I never expected him to want to get vaccinated, ever. I knew he'd be like, no, fuck Bill Gates. I knew it. Like, I just knew.
I don't think it's Bill Gates, but carry on.
Yeah, it was like
I'm the only Bill around here.
my aunt was saying how she was not sure if she should get it. And I was like, oh, I'm surprised by that. Like, I expected her to be like, yes, we're all getting vaccinated.
She's going to conform, but no, not a
But
conformist.
no, she was like, no, it's not worth it for me. I said, okay, fine. Look, if it was just me and Anna and we had no kids, I may have reacted differently to the whole situation. First of all, I would be so relaxed. The last year of my life would have been a vacation.
The only way I'm going to for sure get it is if it restricts my travel. Because sadly, I have many and one huge mouth to feed. So if it restricts my travel, I'm going to have to take it. I'm going to have to take that sickness so that I can keep traveling, making money, so that this guy can keep eating pasticcio.
You know, the joke that I was trying to make, which is not really a joke. If I'm going to get one, like the mRNA vaccines, I know everyone's scared of them. And like I've done like a bunch of deep dives into like how this works. Because I'm curious, right? Just curiosity. It's not because I'm looking for some kind of sketchiness.
Curiosity killed the bald. That's what they say.
Did,
Be
yes,
careful.
I know, but I'm already bald, so I can't get more bald. But I could get more dead.
Yeah.
these mRNA vaccines, like we're on the precipice of like future medicine now, like curing cancers, curing AIDS, curing genetic illnesses. Like these are really exciting. It's just a shame that they came to the light during a terrible time.
True. However, here's the danger. This is what I read about them.
Yeah.
The danger. The danger is because they do that whole. They help with the programming. They're basically telling your body, "Hey, stupid, what are you doing? Fight this." You know, like they're. It's very advanced. It's what we were doing to this date was primitive in introducing primitive. I mean, it was advanced at the time.
The delivery method was primitive.
But like telling your body, "Here, look, this is an example. This is a weakened version of what we want you to fight. Learn it, study it, because our bodies are fucking computers. Fight it." Now it's more like we know how to tell your body to fight it. We're saying the
That's
signals.
not what's happening at all.
That is what's happening.
So what they were doing before is they were giving you either weakened virus or attenuated virus.
So I just said.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you on that part. There are dangers because the virus can still go rampant on you. It can happen.
Yeah, it's happened before. That's why people were scared of
What
vaccines.
they're doing is they're breaking apart the virus. I don't even know if they're working with an attenuated version. And then they're simply taking a specific protein which causes no danger, poses no threat to you because it doesn't have all the information it could to be a virus. And they're saying, okay, recognize this and fight this. It's safer. Just from the simple theory of it, it's safer.
But I don't know why you cut me off. We didn't
You said
differ
the
on
opposite
everything.
thing.
No, I didn't.
You said now they're giving you something that... Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, I said before they're giving you a weakened version of the virus.
Yeah.
Because that's what we can do. They didn't know any better.
Right.
And now the RNA ones are telling your body, this is how you fight this. They're not giving you the virus.
They're not. They're not telling you how to fight it. They're giving you the part that you need to fight and letting you figure it out. That's what's happening.
It's the same thing
It's
as...
not the same thing, though.
It's the same
it
thing.
really isn't.
So what did we say that's different?
You're saying that it's teaching you how to fight.
Yeah.
I'm saying that all it's doing is introducing the thing you need to fight.
Yeah,
in a
it's giving
safer
you the
version.
book. It's not reading it for you. That's what it's doing. It's teaching you how to fight it.
No, it's just throwing it at you. It's like if I throw a lit match at Poseidon, right? Yes, I could burn him, right? But if I throw a hologram of a lit match, in both instances, he's going to learn to dodge.
Exactly.
I'm not
They're
teaching him to dodge. I'm just throwing something at him.
Yeah, so he can learn. You're teaching him. That's learning.
But I'm not giving him instructions. I'm
It's
letting
just the
instinct
words
you.
that are bothering you for some reason. But that's what
the
it's
word-
doing to you.
You know
What
what?
it's doing to you is it's teaching you how to fight. That's the whole point. What else is it doing?
But it's not giving you instructions on it. It's not teaching you through instruction. It's teaching you through example. Those are
What's the
different.
difference?
Because
It's
not-
teaching you.
Because it's not giving you any kind of programmed code that says learn this. It's not doing that.
But it can't give you program code. We're not
Exactly.
100% computers. We're
Exactly.
like computers.
Then yes, so we are saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're saying the exact same thing. It bothered you. You're like, no, I got to be right of a word. But that's what it's teaching. I don't care how it teaches you.
I hate-
if I
I
throw a
hate to
wrench
argue
at this
semantics.
cocksucker,
You know
yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. I don't
You
want
know
to.
I hate to argue
But
semantics.
you argue semantics.
I know, but in this instance with the vaccines, I feel like semantics has become a weapon for some people. Like people are using specific trigger words that scare people.
No, what I'm
And
saying
it's
is
creating
why
this deep
this is supposed to
disinformation.
be safer. Why this is supposed to be safer is because instead of because
There's
there
no
is
virus.
exactly
Yeah.
because there is a small danger, small one, depending on who gets it or whatever.
They all have a danger.
They all have a danger. I'm saying with the regular vaccines, they all have a danger because they are still introducing a virus. And let's say if you're already immunocompromised,
I think they don't like when we talk about the vaccine.
even the weakened version could fuck you. That's what was happening. So now it's supposed to be like, look, this is the future. We're just telling you, hey, look, you could use this is how you would defend yourself against this. It's not a real thing. We're not endangering
Yeah.
you. That's what they're saying.
It's like a holodeck or like a
holodeck,
flight simulator. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good example. George, how old are you?
40.
40. Okay. Did you get that crazy vaccine, the smallpox one that scarred people?
No.
Or are you too young? No? My dad has that. Does your mom have that? The big
What?
scar on his...
Yeah, they all
Every person who was in the second or third world that got vaccines has that.
My dad grew up
My
in
girlfriend
the
has
first
that.
world.
My wife has it.
That shit, yeah.
My girlfriend has that.
You know how they gave those? I was reading about it the other day. It was like a fucking... it wasn't a needle. It was like in Star Trek when they go psst, and it goes right through the skin.
No way. Like
Yeah,
and
like I forget the name of what it's called, but what a weird tech. Apparently it was super dangerous because it would take all the bacteria on the arm and put it in your body. So they stopped using them.
Yeah, I don't have any of that shit.
No, we don't have it. We got regular like intravenous and intramuscular vaccines. I just thought it was so cool. We had like hypo sprays and shit. But apparently they could kill you, the hypo sprays. So lesson learned.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
it
have any
makes
of that
sense, right? You're blasting everything that's on the outside inside.
It is weird, those things. I've seen the big marks. Yeah, I don't have that
Yeah, my dad has one right on his arm. I always wondered as a kid, like, what is that? He's like, they chipped me. I was like,
shit. That's amazing.
yeah.
All right,
George, what
let's
else you got?
get back to our favorite mayor because the chat is falling asleep here with your
Doug Ford?
Oh, who? Alberto?
Oh.
Yeah, 99 cents to let us
tipped
know.
us 99 cents to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're not your
I mean,
whores,
if you're
Alberto.
publicly going to be a cunt, it's good to drop 99 cents.
Yeah.
Go on, G.
So back to the measures announced by the mayor. So we have that revitalization of downtown, and then there was, and this I just don't understand. So she's planning on investing over $1 million, $1.25 million, into this program called Synergy Montreal. This is something that she had created. Basically, it's a program that is designed to help companies convert to circular economy. So what that means basically is just, companies using all available resources they have in order to, limit the impact on the environment and all that kind of bullshit. Yeah. So she unveiled the program. So this is where she thinks that spending $1 million is going to be worth it. So I'm not sure exactly how she plans on doing it. I think she's going to work with a lot of local actors to make sure that
local actors,
bad actors,
Poseidon.
Yeah, I just don't understand
bro or not to bro.
What's the deal with vaccines?
I'm just not sure how efficient that is right now, and how that is going to revitalize your downtown core. But anyway,
she's a buffoon.
And finally, and this is
you need to do sit-ups if you want to revitalize your core.
Yeah,
yeah. So this is just to touch on what Phil was saying about investing in the Office de la Langue Française. Yeah. So she unveiled the program to protect the French language in Montreal. So basically, she wants businesses to just simply adopt bonjour instead of bonjour hi. I mean, we're back to that old fucking debate.
Bonjour Uber alles.
I like that.
So she wants just bonjour to be used. She also wants to implement like a francisation program with the aim to improve the language practices of the city. She wants to create an award recognizing Montrealers who contribute to the promotion of the French language in the city.
Pantelis should be nominated.
French cast, baby.
French cast.
That's it, And part of that plan envisions, more cultural events in French to be organized in libraries and theaters and,
that doesn't help in any way but costs money. Cool.
So so all this, it's nice and dandy and stuff, but I'm still stuck to her main point on revitalizing Montreal. I'm not sure how this helps.
In libraries, the Becherel Olympics. Get the fuck out of here.
The Becherel Olympics. Go.
Yeah. So again,
wait, hold on, George. My favorite name for a tense in French is plus que parfait. How can something be plus que parfait?
More than perfect.
More than perfect. I don't even remember which one is plus que parfait. I forget now.
I don't
know. Some French people help me.
Plus que parfait.
Plus que parfait. Is it more than a parfait?
Like if I ever do a French stand-up special, an hour, I'm going to call it plus que parfait.
You can have that one.
And tell us plus que parfait.
Pantelis, plus que parfait. Oui, c'est quoi le deal avec les conjugations de la Becherel? How you speak French?
Oh, by the way, is the old mayor? I keep hearing that he is coming back. Is he coming back?
Denis?
It's almost guaranteed that he's releasing a book actually today. I might go buy it.
Yeah, Denis.
Is it a coloring book?
It's a coloring book. I have a feeling that he will come back. A couple friends I've spoken at the city level, they're pretty convinced as well.
You know what, George? We're gonna make it happen right now. George, talk to your buddy Coder. French cast invitation on now. Send him over. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get him votes.
I would argue that he's more interesting in English.
No, in French.
He truly is more interesting in English because he has this like dad vibe in English.
I'm like flip this fucking table.
So and a lot of the people in the party.
What is that?
What's happening?
He was talking to himself. That's why he said to flip the fucking table. I was so staring at him. He's talking to himself, looking at the screen, yelling at the screen.
He's just twitching. He's on.
No. He's yelling at the screen. Look.
No. I googled plus que parfait.
Oh, that's why. Because for those of you can't see him, why I got upset. I'm looking over and I'm seeing him do this.
It was basically this.
To the fucking screen.
Okay, guys, it was basically this. It was. That's what it was.
I'm gonna kill you.
It is a useful tense, though. Christine broke it down how it works. I remember now.
What they say?
It's useful. Like if you just read the example, like que j'avais, right?
Yeah.
It's the imperfect. Fuck, I'm not gonna read all that now.
Listen, you fucking nerd. George, carry on. And by the way, after this, we're gonna have to reach out to your buddy Coder after the episode, so we'll talk.
Yeah, no, but the other indicator is that, I'm talking to people that were in his former party, elected officials, and they're all silent.
Pizza party.
So it's like something's up,
Yeah.
Nobody's saying, "Oh,
Suspicious.
I don't know. I don't know." What do you mean you don't know? Fuck, you're
George.
going into an election in a couple of months and you don't know.
Didn't he leave disgraced though? I don't remember.
He lost the election, and it was a shocker. I mean, nobody even knew Valerie Plante. She was just recently. She had I think she was elected.
I had a lot to do with his loss. I did badmouth him repeatedly for spending millions of dollars on bridge lights when we had other problems.
Was that him?
That was him.
Yeah,
And the goddamn Ferris wheel.
I think
I like the Ferris wheel.
I don't disagree with that. I mean,
Look,
of
when he
course,
comes
it
to my
could've
French
been spent-
cast, I will not hold back. I will explain to him, look, I do think you need to come back because this lady's an idiot. However, many stupid things you have done, sir.
Didn't he get into a whole scandal because he kept giving his brother snow removal funds?
That's funny.
But I
Wasn't his
think
brother in charge of snow removal?
I think what really did it for him was
That's
when he
other-
did the race there with the electric race cars there.
Formula
yeah.
E,
Formula E.
Formula E.
Oh,
But that wasn't
Formula
bad.
E.
That I think that's what really because he had to board up certain neighbor people couldn't like open windows, the businesses.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
because
No, that
he
wasn't the thing.
transformed.
That wasn't what happened. What happened was that he basically that was the fall in the election because they brought up numbers that weren't falsified, but the fact is that he was caught lying. And it wasn't even a bad lie. I mean, I don't even understand why he didn't want to say it. Basically, what happened is that the ticket sales weren't fantastic. You know, obviously, it was the first time this event was being held. But
What is
they
this
found-
Formula what?
E.
That's
Formula
because people
E.
were
Like a-
confused. They just
it's
kept
like
reading
electric-
Formula.
It's like electric formula cars, whatever.
But in French, everybody's like, Formula Ah.
Formula. It's like
Quoi ça?
But they had
so.
found out, and this happened during the election, that most of the tickets, I think they gave away like $30,000 worth of tickets for
yeah, I
free
remember
for
that,
people
yeah.
to attend. Something like that, which isn't a bad thing, man. It's like, listen, we're trying it for the first time. We're investing. We want people to come and see. Like, it could have, like, on a communications perspective, it could have been easily avoided. And it came out at the end of 2 weeks before the election, and Valerie Plante hammered him as being dishonest and blah, blah, blah. And
They invited me too.
And
I
that's what
said,
happened.
I told him I'm
Yeah,
straight.
because
I don't,
weekend.
that was
straight in the
I don't know
window.
if that was the main element that made him lose, but it was definitely one that kind of put a dent in him, right? And it was such a
What's wrong
stupid
with you?
thing. I mean,
He hit the mic.
Sorry.
George, I'm going to have to cut you off, George, to bring up some important news that I think you already have on your paper. I
ahead.
just found out
Oh yes.
that China has been talking all kinds of shit. China apparently has been saying that the Canadians were bad people and that we mistreat our First Nations people, which not 100% a lie. While they're out there murdering Muslims and putting them in concentration camps.
yeah. Well, see, I was thinking about mentioning it, and finally I didn't because the court hearings began with the two what's it called? What are their names? The two Canadians there that are
The
that were-
Michaels.
the Mikes, yeah, the Mikes.
Mike and Mike.
So it's a huge controversy because it's the hearings are happening behind closed doors. No one's allowed to go in. Canada's diplomats have a hard time getting any information. So there's this huge mobilization in China happening with all these other countries sending their diplomats and all these people in front of the courthouse to kind of demonstrate. So there's a huge wave against China. There have been sanctions imposed by the EU and Canada because of the Uyghurs. This happened a couple days ago, actually. So it's just stupid retaliation from China. Yeah, well, you guys are worse. Look what you're doing with your Aboriginals. I don't think they're wrong because the Aboriginals have been mistreated. But the difference between Canada and China is that the government here has acknowledged it. That's the big difference.
We don't have concentration camps here
Anymore.
Nobody concentrates around here.
Yeah.
No, but that's a huge difference. I mean, when you have a government, and people laughed at Justin Trudeau, but at the same time, I mean, he was the only one that came out and said we were stupid, we were dumb, we made a big mistake, and we're sorry, and we're going to try and repair it.
I'm with him on that.
So at least he stepped up, which is something that China hasn't done ever. I mean,
China's
they're
gonna
still
jump
conducting.
now. China's gonna jump on the Asian hate bandwagon. They're gonna start. Wait.
China has a weird. You know the weird thing is about the government right now in China. Their defense is so weird. Their defense isn't like
I know
it
you
used
are.
to be. Yeah, their defense used to be nothing's happening. And then when videos came out, instead of them like finding out another excuse, they're like, yeah, but they're Muslims. Like they don't care. They don't care. They're like, yeah, they're Muslims. What
do
you
they
guys
have to worry about? Losing the next election?
Yeah, they don't care. That's the problem with dictatorships. They don't care.
Accountable.
They're not even hiding it. They're like, yeah, and what are you going to do?
They're like, oh, yeah, vote for the other.
yeah, that's it. That's what they're doing. They don't give a shit, bro.
So that's what's happening right now. It's and this is very sad to see, right? I mean, these guys, clearly they're being held there for political purposes, and the justice system in China, from what I'm reading, is is really just yeah, exactly.
Free the mix,
quote unquote.
All
justice,
the Irish
right?
get out.
I read a stat somewhere where if you go to trial for things like this in China, 99% of the time you're getting arrested. Like you're going to
Yale.
Yeah. So
not the school.
Yeah, not Yale.
El Yale.
I don't know how these things are going to develop. I mean, there's a lot of international pressure right now on China. I really don't understand the point. It's like, okay, yeah, the Aboriginals, we know it. We've addressed the issue. Next, like. So I don't know. This is ongoing. So I didn't really feel like talking about it. I mean, nothing's really happening. We'll see. We'll see how this whole story kind of develops. Let's get back to Quebec, because there seems to be some sort of controversy between the government, the experts that are advising them, and the other experts that are running their hospitals. Basically,
I'm actually upset now. My stomach hurts. I'm actually upset about this whole fucking Uyghur thing. Like, there's people going to concentration camps. They're being put on fucking trains where nobody gives a shit.
I think everyone gives a shit. Everyone kind of woke up to this, which is why they imposed sanctions, right? Now the question is, what are they actually going to do?
Why don't we impose real sanctions?
Because we can't. Because they literally make everything in this room.
That's what should change.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different.
But not just that. It's like World War II. Nobody did anything until it was in their backyard.
Yeah.
Is it just like World War II? It's in our backyard, dude.
No, not yet.
Not yet. It's not in our backyard.
Not yet.
It's gonna happen as soon as they start enslaving people in Vancouver. Then we're gonna be like, hey, wait a second.
Enslave Muslims in the Western world. They're gonna enslave white people.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, the Muslims are just the ones
with righteous indication.
Yeah, it's crazy.
George, you still here?
So yesterday here in Quebec, the Premier Legault came out in his daily conference, and he announced basically that Quebec is resisting the third wave, contrary to some other countries in the world and some other provinces here in Canada as well.
They don't like third wave coffee.
Yeah,
I mean, resisting.
Experts were quick to come out and criticize him, since the numbers of confirmed variant cases are still rising, and it's obviously premature to even suggest that we're resisting to the third wave when the hospitals are seeing different results, the schools are seeing different results. They're afraid that the premier's messages may risk creating this sort of, a sense of complacency of Quebecers, where people are just going to take it easy, like, basically what happened last summer. Studies are being conducted right now on how COVID-19 has been spreading more among school children, which is probably why they're doing pilot projects with the parents, but we're going to get to that.
But that still doesn't protect the kids; it just protects us. It's weird.
Exactly.
It's a weird pilot project.
And most hospitals now, the bigger ones, they're still in preparation mode for a sudden spike in the variant cases. So that's where their focus is. So it's really contradicting to the realities that the hospitals are living in and what the premier is coming out and saying. Just yesterday, there was a spike of over 160 variant cases. So obviously, it's mostly in Montreal.
160 variants.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm just curious now. How, how do we classify these variants? Because 160 variants.
Basically, now what they're doing is, you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Every time you get a positive test, they run, I think it's genetic sequencing to know which version of the virus it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're seeing fewer and fewer of the original wild type.
That's what I'm saying.
The first one, and more of these new evolved versions.
160 variants recorded. That's didn't we already lose control? If there's 160 variants.
Well, that's why the experts are coming out so loudly, and we also have more confirmed cases of the South African variant than Ontario and the BC.
That one's scary because it makes you racist.
Yeah, the South African one's crazy.
Next thing you know, it's apartheid.
Yeah, it's already apartheid.
Yeah. So basically, they all believe that we shouldn't be loosening up restrictions at this point. And they gave the example in the UK where this whole variant thing began. the cases started dropping only after about 30% of the population was vaccinated, and here in Quebec we're just slightly over 10%. So I mean the numbers don't add up for our 10%. Experts. The question that remains is, what exact science is the premier following? Who is advising him?
The same person who sent him that message.
Cut to a photo of Poseidon.
And how?
Who is advising him?
In a backwards.
Like, bro, listen, it's a virus. It goes around, and I'm sick. You're sick. Many sick.
But it's not so bad. He's got like a lab coat on backwards.
Yeah, he's got a lab coat on.
Like, with his ass
like
out.
a straight jacket.
Like a hospital gown.
Yeah, but it's just his dick out here.
He's got a hole in the
So you're wearing that backwards.
So most of our experts, from the biggest hospitals, seem to be thinking differently. So I mean, it raises all these concerns and all these questions. I don't know. I don't know, because every single day for the last week we've been seeing measures being lifted and the restrictions.
Let my people go just in time for Passover.
So I mean, I don't know. I honestly, look, these are questions that I don't have the questions to. And then you have the schools. The teachers are also baffled by everything that's happening, because the PM announced that as of Monday, all high schoolers, we're talking about Sec 3, 4, and 5, will return full time in their classrooms, even in the red zones now. So the teachers they're confused by this decision. I mean, they're seeing a completely different reality in their classrooms. They fear that the variant cases may spike. Kind of, they're following the experts from the hospital, from the health network, and this is where I'm coming to what Phil was mentioning before. They have been lobbying the government for months now to allow the teachers to get priority vaccinations, kind of like the health and the frontline workers. They don't understand how the teachers aren't being vaccinated. So I don't know. Maybe that's what the pilot project is, Phil. I'm not sure exactly.
Well, so they're basically, the pilot project is from the CUS Centre West.
Yeah,
which is like Côte-des-Neiges Park Extension. It's actually the CUS,
which has the Jewish hospital, which is the main hospital.
Yeah, well, the main hospital. It depends who you talk to and where they live. But yeah, I see what you mean. If you're a Greek person in Montreal, you only go Jewish. Like, it makes sense that you would say that. But so Plamondon area, which isn't a real area, they just named it the Plamondon area. And Côte Saint-Luc have had massive outbreaks. So the teachers, the parents, and administrative staff of those schools, daycares, elementary and high school, have access to the vaccine now. Yeah, I mean, it makes a bit of sense, but I don't know how much sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense that the teachers should be vaccinated. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it, especially if you're going to keep the schools open. I mean, protect the teachers.
You kind of need them.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, right?
Where did you go? What happened? I missed something.
Just the drilling.
They were drilling again.
And I had a huge fight yesterday, so this is unacceptable behavior.
Every fucking day that we do this program, I mean, there seems to be something.
Yeah, but exactly that was the whole thing. That's why I lost my shit yesterday on the guy. Like, and then he's like, "Why are you angry? I never seen you this angry." And it's like, well, fuck, man, this is crazy at this point. Like, I told them to start invoicing them, and they lost their shit.
Well, when I had clients here the other day and we were filming in the studio, they started drilling.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's not on the schedule, but like, I have a studio. You rented me a studio.
Exactly.
If you're going to be drilling,
it's not even debatable. 90%
it's not of the time.
It's
how
not
am I supposed to work?
Yeah, it's not debatable. There's no like they try to debate it, but it's not actually debatable.
No, it's not.
100% their fault. Breach
debatable.
of contract. Yeah, it's a whole other thing. Anyway, so I sent my fighting Irishman.
Yeah, Kong, King of the Apes.
King of Apes.
King of the Apes.
Let's move over to the federal, if you guys don't mind.
Are we not going to talk about the Colorado guy?
Yeah, I left that for the end.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that in the end.
And on a high note.
It's on my list. Over the weekend, there was a national convention for the Conservative Party of Canada happening. O'Toole came out with a 5-point plan on, basically it's going to outline his campaign for the next election. Basically,
is it any good?
Look, I'll tell you what the problem, what the Conservatives are going to have as a problem coming in the next couple of months. Basically, O'Toole wants to focus on jobs. He wants to fight against corruption, and specifically liberal corruption. He's not wrong on that. He wants to tackle mental health. He wants to balance the budget in 10 years. Oof. And he wants Canada to be better prepared for potential future pandemics, right? It basically goes back to what you were saying, where these things may be occurring more often than we think. It's better to have a plan so that we can be much more effective than we were this time around.
I like it.
Now, So that's fine. And that's his main, 5-point plan. It's pretty much going to become the foundation of his platform. Here's the problem, though. We know that O'Toole, during his leadership campaign, was much more open on taking a stance on climate change, which was a complete shift in the Conservative Party. But the problem is this, and we know we spoke about this last episode, or I can't remember when, where he's not really popular. He's like about 65% within the Conservative voters, right? So the Conservatives are very divided on the climate question. So O'Toole basically insisted that the debate on the climate change is pretty much over, and that his party should present a serious action plan to fight climate change for the next election. But it wasn't enough to convince the members of his party, which, like I said, they were assembling over the weekend. There was a motion that was presented by a Quebec ridings members, and basically that stated that the climate change is real. So there was a motion for the party to recognize that climate change is real, and it was defeated mostly by Conservative members in Ontario and in the prairies, basically.
But wait,
So
you can vote on whether something's real or not?
They just wanted to make sure that on their platform it says that, we believe in climate change, it's real, and that we should fight for it, kind of thing, right?
Okay.
And it didn't pass. they
fine.
voted against it, which is a huge issue, the way I see it. There's a lot of sources now that are suggesting that that O'Toole will still campaign on protecting the environment. I think that if he doesn't campaign on protecting the environment, I think it'll hurt him in the upcoming elections.
Well,
And
what
we've
was the
seen this-
vote, though? Is the environment real or not? What do they vote?
What do you mean?
Is the environment a real thing or not?
The environment is a real thing.
Are
We're
you
talking about-
sure? Because were there votes on this? Because if they don't vote, I don't know.
Oh, his votes, you mean?
I don't know how you vote on things that are how do you vote on whether climate change is real or it's not a thing to vote on. Is there evidence?
Look, what happens in conventions is mostly geared toward policy. Like, where do we want our party to head? What direction do we want to give our party,
Yeah.
so that we can strategically form the policy around these areas? So
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it was. It was kind of like a guiding principle. So I don't know what the hell they're thinking, because we've seen, at least in the last federal election and the last provincial election before that in 2018, environment had a central focal point in these elections. People are, it's becoming more and more of a popular issue. People seem to be reading platforms and looking out for stuff related to the environment much more than ever before. And I have a feeling that if you're going to neglect it, it's going to hurt you. Now, let's be honest here. Their clientele, perhaps in the West, in Canada, don't give a shit. Like, you're not going to lose your votes over there. But we saw in the last election, the last federal election, that what you really need is to get your votes in Ontario and in Quebec. And if you want to win, it means that you're going to have to draw the vote from the Liberals towards the Conservative Party. And the environment is going to be a critical issue. I mean, you're going to have to figure out a way of making it appealing. Where are they going?
They're taking care of it. It's okay, I'm here.
Ah, fuck, okay. I just saw Pantelis getting up. I'm like, oh, a fight is breaking out in the studio.
Poseidon came in with a really somber look on his face. Something happened.
Discouraged.
Honestly, it's become a joke. It's fucking it's laughable.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway,
Out
so that's
west,
it. So
nobody cares about it, but Quebec, what were you saying?
yeah, the West doesn't really care about the environment. I don't think he's going to lose any votes over there, but he needs to sway voters from the Liberals in Ontario and in Quebec if he wants to win the next election. And I have a feeling that in that market, the environment is on top of the agenda. So
Yeah, I mean, look, the environment should be high up on the agenda. Like, if we poison everything, then we're fucked, right? But these half measures, like spending money on the Paris Accords, like, money is not going to solve this problem on its own, right? So, like, let's take it with a grain of salt.
yeah, no, but I mean, it's very difficult to make policy on environment because, first of all, the party line, they were against the tax, the carbon tax. There's a lot of stuff that this party just doesn't align itself with, right? And when you see the trend, you have to ask yourself, where do we stand? Do we give in order for, gaining quote unquote clients, gaining more supporters. At the end of the day, it has to come to that sort of strategic level where if you want to win, you're going to have to kind of go with the trends. And if people care more and more about environment, then that's what you need to do. You need to create more measures on green technologies. Like there's a lot of stuff happening in Europe, for example, that could apply here in Canada. And I just think that was the wrong move. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I think it's going to hurt them in the elections. But at the same time, there's a lot of articles that I've been reading where O'Toole doesn't seem to care about what his members kind of voted on during this weekend. He's still set on tackling the environment as a main issue during the election. Maybe I think is the right thing. I think it is the right thing to do. But will that make him lose his clientele in the West? That's the other strategic thing that you can't afford to lose, right? I don't know. It remains to be seen. Is everything okay over there, Pantelis?
Yeah, he just spilled
water
his
all over our cables because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it's fine.
At the same time, just to follow up on what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, because we still haven't seen a budget, right, in the federal government. Finally, it was announced yesterday that the finance minister is going to be tabling a budget on the 19th of April. We still don't know the details of what's going to happen in that budget or what we're going to be seeing. I think back in February, she had announced that the plan includes measures to relaunch our economy, and we're looking at around $70 to $100 billion worth of measures to be injected in that budget. I mean, it's a whole lot of money. I don't understand how much deeper we can fucking dig ourselves. But just a fun fact, the last time Canada tabled a budget was in March of 2019. We are the only G7 nation that hasn't tabled a budget in 2020, which is a little embarrassing if you ask me. So looking forward to that. Not sure exactly what that's going to mean or what measures are going to be included in it, but if they're projecting $70 to $100 billion, I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to be more. So who knows? Again, we'll wait to see. That's in a couple of weeks.
The vibe changed in here, huh?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the episode to be over so I could go and commit a crime.
Shit.
Yeah.
We're getting to that Colorado shooting, but before we get to that, I don't know if you guys read the story.
Don't leave yet. We'll have the killing guy.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys read the news of the hospital up in Saint Eustache in
white nurses only.
Yeah.
We looked into it. When did we looked into it? I spoke about it on a podcast.
Did you guys talk about that?
The white nurses only.
How crazy is that? There were 10 job posts that were put up, and
I think it wasn't on 2DM. I spoke about it last week on a podcast. I think
not with me, but
it was the other morning show that we did.
Oh, it was the morning show.
It was the morning show, but I think you weren't here and George was.
Oh, I left early. I had to shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, it made sense. Like I actually saw it and I was like, all right, this is not what I thought it was.
Well, look, from
what
what
context?
it doesn't make any sense at all.
That
being white is mandatory. The excuse that the hospital used was that we have patients over here that are adamant about being served by white nurses. What do you want us to do?
All our patients are racist. So if we bring in anyone who's not white, they're just going to get yelled at, berated racially. Then we're going to have a whole situation on our hand. That's what they said.
Yeah, well, you got to figure that one out, man. Yeah, I don't
how do you? They're not employees. They're
patients.
patients.
The mind of an old patient who's
they're not
dying.
Employees, George. They're patients.
I'm not saying they're not racist. They're racist.
That's why, yeah, because they're racist. It's 100%.
Yeah.
But they're not employees, George. Like you got to fix that. We're gonna give them some training. They're patients. They're not employees.
But they're dumb. The fucking hospital. You don't put a white nurse only. You put out a nurse ad, and you just don't hire people who you think are gonna get berated racially. Don't put yourself out there.
Well, no, they had to put it out there because apparently most of the people that were applying to be nurses. Stuff like that are not white. So then they're like, okay, if we keep doing this, we're just going to waste their time and our time.
But last week we had come to a very nice solution.
Oh, yeah?
In the description, instead of putting white nurses only or whatever the fuck, they put, just so you know,
very racist patients. They're old. If you can stomach it, apply.
Yeah, that would have been
the way to solve it. What
a weird situation.
I mean, it's a weird situation, but what do you want to do? You can't train these old people. They're fucking.
We're just waiting for them to go, right?
Yeah.
Can't teach.
And do you want, like, let's say if it's your mom and she's Jamaican, you really want her to go to work every day and have someone drop the N-bomb and spit on her and shit? You don't want that shit.
Of course not.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Like,
George got
I don't know. I mean, the government is currently investigating.
But you got to admit, George, your first instinct when we put it out that way, you're like, yeah, I see what they're saying, right?
No, because I read that there was a patient that didn't want to be served by anything other than a white nurse or a white doctor.
So that patient, just give him a white one. That's it.
What happened here? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that patient, just give him a white one. And everyone else, if they're cool with it, give them whoever the fuck else there is.
I mean,
I don't think they put I think the ad was in general. They were looking for nurses. It wasn't one non-black.
They wanted many white nurses.
Yeah, they wanted many white nurses.
They have many nurses.
Yeah, so I mean,
where's the Saint Eustache?
How many nurses do you want for that one particular person or two, whatever? I don't know.
Is it if it's for one person? Then I don't think they need to hire it. You're telling me there's no white people in the fucking hospital?
I don't think it was for one person.
Yeah, they said it was.
There's no way it was for one person.
What did they call? Who was it? That professor who called Quebec the Alabama of the North?
Oh,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in.
This kind of shit is embarrassing for our image, but
that's a whole other debate, and I was going to talk about it more on Friday. So
right, so save it for the day before the Sabbath, George. That's fine.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's a story with that hospital. I mean, I don't know. You would think that by this time we'd be fucking more advanced, socially.
But again, these are old people. Like that, or in the 1920s, like me and you, it's different.
Maybe not the 1920s.
I'm just saying they're old fucking people. It's not, again,
here's
people
what I
that
would
complained
do. If I was in
them.
charge of that hospital, here's what I would do. I would tell the patient, here's what we have, fucking deal with it. And if you can't, call in your family and they can deal with you. Like, I mean, what are you talking about, man? White only. What the fuck? Where do we live?
I don't think the hospital is white only. I think they were hiring more white nurses.
Hiring only like that's.
No, but I mean they have nurses that are not white. I mean when they put that, the hospital didn't just open up and they wanted white people only.
I know, but it makes no sense to do that just to accommodate 1 or 2 or 3 or fucking 10.
Even if
people.
Whether you're doing it to accommodate the racist old guy or whether you're doing it to protect minority staff from his. From his of racism.
If it's one guy, that guy has power,
I mean,
bro.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
If it's one fucking guy, he's like, I don't even want to smell a non-white person in this fucking building. That guy has way too much power. You're giving a fucking patient way too much power, bro.
There's no way they would do this just for one person.
I'm not sure. Stupid. I really haven't read the story, but I understand what you're saying, and I also understand what George is saying.
Yeah,
it's a weird situation. There is no right or wrong, but at the same time, you can't forgive old people for being racist, but you also can't change them.
Me, it's the fact that I know I can't change them.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
But like, think about it this way. Here's a flip side that no one's discussing. If there was a fucking job posting that said, what are they called? BIPOC nurses only. Nobody would be mad.
What's a BIPOC nurse?
Black, indigenous, people of color.
Non-white.
Okay.
Non-white, basically.
There's a term for it. Fuck, I hate this.
Yeah, there's a term for everything.
God damn.
But if that existed, that posting, it would not be news. It would be, I mean, it might be news on like, in like a QAnon forum, they'd be really mad about it, but they're the only ones who would be talking about it.
Well, I mean, in our field, you would know this too. It happens all the time. I get turned down stuff all the time, and the reason is diversity required. And I'm like, I'm a Greek guy, but you look white. Your headshot is a white guy.
I've actually had conversations in some of the film groups that I'm like the forums that I'm part of that have like job boards and stuff, where they're like, how do you identify? I was like, what do you mean? They're like, do you identify as a person of color? I'm like, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. They're like, we can't tell what you are. Because my name, my last name,
yeah, you are. Sure. Yeah. You look Slavic.
Pictures, I'm kind of tan. I could be a Middle Eastern dude. So I was like, you hire me if you like my work. Like, I don't understand.
But it is different. But this is, George, you are right, though. It is fucking weird because I don't know what, for this hospital, I'm saying not in general, for this hospital, I don't know what I don't think it was the right choice. Like I said, they should have just left open to all nurses, and they should have noted we have some racist patients, by the way. So if you don't have thick skin, just know that somebody might drop an N-bomb. Let them know, and then just hire anyone, whoever wants to do the job. That would have been better, I think. But what do you do with are you allowed as a hospital to kick out a patient?
Not. There is.
Maybe you can. I don't know. You can transfer them. You can send them somewhere else. I don't know.
If they verbally or physically assault staff, you can be refused service.
Yeah, I mean,
you can.
I don't know. I don't know how fine that line is to refuse health services, but at the same time, if like Phil is saying, if it's threatening the safety of your staff, why the hell would you have people like that?
I know. Yo, read what Catherine said.
I worked in hospitals by the past
Wow, you can't read. Should I read it?
Yeah.
No, hold on, because it
Go
didn't
ahead.
make sense. And I do understand why they only want a white nurse. The Alzheimer wings is filled with patients that are regressing, stuck being who they were in the 1950s. Then 2 out of 3 when racism was socially accepted.
Yeah.
Therefore, they are prone to make a scene and complicate the nurse's intervention in an effort to give efficient care to the patient and adequate conditions.
Like they see a black nurse and she's like, "Yo, I gotta give you your insulin." I don't know what the fuck. He's like, "Nah, you're trying to kill me." You know,
Yeah.
and it just gets crazy.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that that's what I'm saying. Is to us it looks like because we're thinking about other society, the rest of society. We're like, this is crazy. What do you mean you're blocking? You're saying whites only. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
What is segregation? But it's a whole different field that we're not aware of.
I mean, I worked in it, right,
Yeah.
for a while, and I had experienced racist patients, and they were always older French Canadians, always like.
Oh, really?
They were always older French. There was never an ethnic person who was like, I don't want the black lady. Like they didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in private they made racist jokes. I don't know what they did.
But they
in
wouldn't
private.
abuse the staff.
But they would not refuse. Like they're not stupid. But
Oh,
then
you had
have-
people refusing, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Pas la noire, monsieur, pas la noire. Je veux pas la garde noire, monsieur, la garde malade noire. You know that weird R thing they do up north? So
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, it's a thing, and it's fucking awkward, and it's disrespectful. But at the same time,
You realize this
cannot
person's
change.
trying to save your life.
Yeah.
I realize nothing.
Like
Yeah, but they're
95-year-old ma tante
But they're
Carole,
old,
I
yeah.
can't do anything about
You
her.
can't change it,
I
yeah.
can't let her die because that's inhumane.
Bro,
can't just refuse
but
service.
We've heard this also. It doesn't just happen with race. It happens also with fucking. Because I knew I know some women that take care of like old
Orderlies.
orderlies. There you go.
Caregivers.
Caregivers. It happens with like they get confused with their own people sometimes, and little insult, spit. You know what I mean? I've heard crazy stories, bro. From one of the woman who we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard crazy fucking stories.
I know,
of the way these old
yeah.
people behave. So
Yeah, they attack. They
they get fucking bananas. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna call the cops, strap him to a bed? What do you like? You know what I mean?
this fucking
They're
80. Yeah,
88, bro.
that's crazy. It's fucking weird.
My own grandmother almost stabbed me, bro.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
You know what I mean?
That's dementia. That's different.
Yeah,
That's
she
a
was
whole other
90
thing.
something.
Yeah, it is. It's a crazy. It's definitely
It's
every.
what it is.
Like it's not. I don't feel, George, like it's like me or you are gonna solve it, obviously. But I don't feel like it's a black or white like easy issue to solve. I think like there's
Pun
layers.
intended?
No,
No.
I think there's layers to this. I think any idiot who can come out and be like,
yeah.
"How can you do this?" or "How can you do that?" Like we don't know. Like, but everyone is on the couch is an
There's-
expert.
look,
but I don't know because I personally don't know how to deal with this.
I have no solution. I have zero solution. Either way hurts someone. And like Alberto's saying, like he doesn't understand how I would defend this. I'm not defending
Not
it.
defending
I'm just
anything.
saying that I don't understand
Alberto's another one of
how
those experts.
angry people are about it.
Yeah.
Because once you read past just the headline, you realize that it wasn't done out of malice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's because when I first read the headline,
people are going to tell me, oh, it doesn't matter the intention.
It
which
does,
I
of
don't-
course. The intent
course it
matters.
matters, but
Because when I first read the headline, because that's what they sent me, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, what do you think this
when
is?"
I first read the headline,
you
my
get
first
angry.
instinct was they must have racist patients. Like,
Oh, I didn't
thought
even
that.
think. Yeah,
Only
because you worked in a
I've
hospital.
experienced it, yeah.
I didn't. The first time they sent it to me, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" So, like, I got angry. I was like, "Yo, what are we doing? What year is this?" And then it was like, "Well, racist patients and they're getting abused." And then I was like, "Ah, fuck! I gotta keep my mouth shut. I don't know what to do in that situation.
I don't have a solution, and I'm. It's not even.
I have a
question
final
of-
solution."
But just picture, just picture our moms, right? Imagine they
Yeah, imagine my mom getting abused. Like, I'd fucking kill that old man.
Yeah, like imagine they had to go take care of like a 90-year-old Turkish old man.
Yeah,
that
and
thought,
he's trying to kill her.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You wouldn't want her to be in that environment, you know?
When I
You
worked
want-
at the CLSC, there were, especially near the end before I quit, before I left.
So you see, Christine says that my idea, even though I don't know if it's the best idea, so far seems to make sense to people. Just to open it to everyone and let them know the dangers.
Exactly.
To me, I thought that was why I thought that was the best idea? Because you have orderlies or nurses that have experience. You have like a lady who is Haitian and has experience with this type of shit. So she's like, yo, if the job's open to me, I'll fucking take it. Don't worry. I'll handle that. I have thick skin. I know what I'm doing. I know they're just fucking old.
I don't need a white savior.
I don't need a white, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it seemed like the best case scenario. But again, I'm not in that
Actually, you know
field.
what?
I don't know.
I think I agree with both of you on that. If you put the job out and say, side note, super racist patients.
Yeah.
If you don't want to deal with it, I mean, we're waiting for them to die, but they're not dead yet.
To me, that
makes
seemed to make sense.
That
But
makes
again,
sense.
I'm not a specialist in any of these fields, so I,
mean,
don't
who-
know. But in my stupid head, that's what seems like the most. Just
What
leave it open. Let me
idiot-
decide.
What moron HR marketing communications person
What only?
thought white only was okay? Like
Yeah.
that
the way
person
we-
needs to be like, dude, what were you doing?
Yeah, the way they worded that, terrible.
I mean, I don't even know if that's how it was worded.
It was.
no, it was. It said white nurses only.
It said white nurses only. That's
yeah.
why. That's
Maybe
why
it
when I
meant-
saw it, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
Maybe
Yeah,
it meant
white
like
nurses.
no-
blanche. It's like white skin.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they're also retards.
yeah. It was written
They're also
crazily.
retarded. Yeah.
It was written in a crazy fashion.
All right, let's get on to
That,
Colorado.
you know, it's like right now you have a dating profile, and you're clearly straight. You're looking for women. You don't have to write no gays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's implied. You're looking for. What are you talking about, bro? That seems weird now. You know?
It would be a crazy ad, but it'd be the truth. That's the difference. No, I'm just answering to the chat.
Oh yeah. Carry on, G.
Yeah, let's get on to Colorado. Crazy stuff. I mean,
Bang bang.
how many? I'm looking at the article
10, I
here.
think.
Quick, how
10
many? It's
people
10
died.
people that died.
I think 10 people
Yep.
died.
Randy Marsh took out 10 people.
Do we know his motivations? Why he did it?
We
Just-
can
he was
speculate.
No, but did they come out and say? Did he say like? Did he have a manifesto or anything like that?
I haven't heard anything yet.
From what I'm reading, well, look, because I went straight to the articles that are talking about gun control because I think the debate is going to come back to that.
Oh, Biden already called for it.
Yeah, it was a weird. I saw the jump because everything has to turn political. You can't. So first, everyone was concerned. They're like, "Yo, fucking white people. This is a goddamn white supremacist," and everyone was wanted to know his identity and how white he was. And no one gave a shit about the victims. Then when they found out that he was a Syrian guy,
was he?
Yeah. Then they found out it was a Syrian guy. They're like, the problem is the white man's weapon, which is the guns. Like no talk about the victims, no talk about anything. It's all political. You know, it's all racial, political. It's not this guy had a problem. Find out why the fuck this guy wanted to do that. Find out what went wrong. What's going on.
From the article, because I was reading an article in the Associated Press. Basically, a lot of the people that have been interviewed, they've said that this guy wasn't all there. He had mental issues. Maybe there was some schizophrenia. Whatever.
How do you get the gun?
How do you get the guns?
Exactly.
Legal
That's
or
the
illegal?
question. And the article basically says that he acquired the gun less than a week before he went to shoot everyone. We're talking about 6 days before.
Legally.
So this is not like, oh, I'm gonna go home, grab my dad's gun.
It
and
was
go on
premeditated.
So this is someone that went and got a gun, premeditated. Maybe not. The thing, if
If
it's
you went
a
and got a
mental issue-
gun right before,
A
it's
week.
premeditated.
Yeah.
He was
No, but
planning to use the gun.
Yeah, but I mean, if the guy suffers from mental illness, I mean, whether he premeditated or not, I mean, how do you judge, right? I mean,
Fair point.
But the point isn't that. The point is, how are we selling guns to these people?
That's what I want to find out. Was it legal? Was it not? If it was
have a
legal,
question.
what's the loophole that allowed a mental? Because I
Maybe
thought
he wasn't diagnosed.
I don't know what it is,
That's different.
but I thought if you have any type of I might be wrong, but I thought the rule wasn't.
And he had a previous record, right?
Yeah.
Because
So all that
that's
shit
odd.
theoretically, what I had remembered, but I could be wrong.
that should have flagged. I mean, that like I
You're
mean,
not
when
supposed to give someone guns.
May I
Yeah.
suggest something, which
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ever been suggested in the States. And if anyone from the American government is listening, please take note. If these things happen, clearly there's been a breach in the current laws. We're not talking about new laws. The
Yeah.
current laws have a hole.
Yeah.
Fill that hole by arresting the person who sold the gun and putting fines on
Well,
people
no. Why
who-
would you arrest the person who sold the gun lawfully? What we're saying is,
But what if he didn't sell it lawfully?
well, then they will go to jail. You don't have to mention
okay.
it.
All right, fair.
Yeah, that's like
Maybe he
that's
did
like
it
me
lawfully,
going.
but
That's like
he,
me buying a hammer at
circumvented.
Canadian Tire, killing Poseidon, and then we have to go and grab arrest the store
No, but
clerk.
what if the store clerk, didn't do the proper check?
But that's not
didn't
what happened.
follow?
We don't have. If
know.
that's
I'm
what
just saying
no, yeah. If
yeah.
that's what happened, we don't have to mention it. Of course, they're gonna get arrested. That's completely illegal.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
illegally selling firearms. What I'm saying is, if there's a loophole, if there's a law that allowed a mental patient, it's not.
buy a gun, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the gun
Was it
owners.
a-
It's not the store's fault, right? But whatever the fuck that law is. Whatever's going on, you got to fight that right away.
Yeah.
You shouldn't ban guns for everyone.
No.
But god damn it, I thought we were in agreement. I thought we were in agreement that if you're mental, if you have fucking violent priors, if you have priors, a lot, you shouldn't be giving them guns just in case.
What kind of was it? A semi-automatic weapon or?
I don't think so.
It was an
was,
AR-15.
Oh shit! Get the
shit.
fuck out of here! You gave a retarded person.
But they already have proper. Like I've looked into this a while ago. They do have proper. It varies. From
It
state
changed
to,
from state to state.
It varies from state to state, but most states do have proper verification. What's funny though is states like that are more open, like have a more open gun culture, like Texas, let's say, have stricter verifications than countries than states that don't have.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah,
which I find
I wouldn't know.
which I find completely ridiculous.
Yeah, it should be. You'd think it was the opposite, but the thing is, because gun culture in certain places is big, so they don't want to take a chance because they know that your neighbor's gonna have a gun, so they want to make sure the neighbor's not crazy.
Yeah.
But then you have cases like this in Colorado where nobody's thinking about it, and this shit happened.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to politics. Obviously, you know, I was reading another article.
Are you sure it was an AR-15?
Yeah, they're saying it was a handgun in the
They're
chat.
saying it was a handgun.
I read AR-15 also, but I may be wrong.
I'm reading that it was a machine gun.
I'm
type
searching it up
gun.
right now.
Hold while George checks his
To
notes.
be fair, if he bought this gun legally, I don't care if it was a pistol or an AR-15. If you gave a schizophrenic
legally gave him a gun? Take a look at that law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is, because the one thing, like when the NRA says, normally a lot of these shootings happen with illegal weapons. So it doesn't matter whether you block everyone or not. If a criminal's going to get something illegally, they will.
That's a different problem.
That's a different problem. And they are right about that. However, if legally you can also allow crazy people, criminals to buy it, then the other thing doesn't matter because they could just get it legally. So the argument is only valid if you make sure that legally people that are dangerous can't get it. That's the only way that'll work. Because right now, if we're letting mental patients, schizophrenics, be able to legally go get a gun, then all the other arguments are out the window because then anyone could just kill. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as having a criminal. It's too dangerous.
I think it was an automatic rifle.
Yeah, but I don't think they should ban guns for every. Like you're not going to stop someone from defending himself. You know what I mean? But clearly there's too many. There's a loophole here. I don't know if it's state by state. I don't know what the problem is. But if a fucking schizophrenic was able to legally buy a gun, there's a fucking problem.
Yeah. But I think it was a automatic rifle because every time they say assault weapon in news and stuff like that, usually they're referring to something that's automatic.
Well, every weapon is an assault weapon.
Exactly.
You're committing assault.
No, but you know how the news phrases bullshit
to make it scarier. Yeah. Anyways, the point is we haven't talked, George, at all about. I haven't heard any name of a victim. I haven't their families. None of that shit.
I think they named them yesterday in a live press conference. The article that I'm reading doesn't have their names. But yeah, it does mention that he had an AR-15 style gun. He was also wearing body armor. The question comes back to the politics, like you said, Pantelis, because, and I was reading another article where the gun laws in Colorado are very strange, right? There was at some point there was a bill attempting to pass in order to kind of make it more strict, and then you had the NRA kind of lobbying the government and the governor to kind of just bounce it, right? So,
but why would this is what fucks with me? If it more strict, do you mean like to stop mental patients from getting guns? Like as the NRA, why would you want mental patients getting guns? You know there's going to be a bad day if that happens. You know you're going to look bad too. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they're looking at their sales, they're looking at the numbers. That's what they're there for, right? And
I get it, but this is what boggles me about people taking a full side. They're never in the middle. So right now, don't you understand that sales wise, if you allow a mental patient to get a gun, it could go awry, and then sales are gonna fucking drop. Like people are gonna be like, "Yeah, fuck this shit." Like,
because here's the thing, I'm sure that if you would ask them publicly, they would say no, there should be measures put in place to avoid these situations from happening, but they still do happen. So obviously there's like a fault somewhere in the system. I mean, either there's not enough checks being made. I don't know if they have an efficient database. I mean, I don't know. And like Phil said, was this guy even diagnosed? If he's not diagnosed, then obviously the guy selling the gun, there's no way for him to know. But
then it's going to ask questions about, there's going to be questions raised about the hospitals. There's going to be questions raised about the doctors. Why didn't they? So somewhere down the line, there was a problem.
It's not their fault. If the guy never checked into a hospital, how could it be the hospital's fault? The question, though, is that in this particular case, he had a record, the guy. I'm reading an article where he got into a fight in the school where he beat the shit out of a guy, and he had to do community service. Like the guy had a criminal. Well, I don't know if it was a criminal record, but
he had an assault on. He had a violent crime.
That normally should come up in some database, right?
Yeah.
History of violence, like Viggo Mortensen. Good movie.
Yeah, I thought violent. If you have like an actual case against you and it's violent, I thought you weren't allowed. But maybe I'm fucking wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's again state by state. Maybe I'm
possibly.
So I mean, again, like you said, the important thing here is it's the victims. It just sucks. Fuck. It's just a nice day. You're going into the supermarket to buy bread and you don't make it out alive. Like it's
Alberta
crazy.
with a dumb comment of the morning. He wasn't black, so he could get a gun easily. Yeah, because in the States they love giving AR-15s to Arabs.
That's retarded.
Yeah, that's what they do.
But I'm reading the laws in Colorado right now. Actually, they do have laws in place.
Well, clearly not for mental people.
Because it says in 2013, Colorado requires background checks for all firearm sales at the buyer's expense. Magazines that are capable of accepting more than 15 rounds or are designed to be readily convertible to accept more than 15 rounds cannot be sold or transferred within state limits.
Was that back in 2018?
13. This was passed.
13.
So this has been
There was
effect for a while.
because I was reading an article that there was something that was supposed to pass in 2018, and it was dropped because of law being made from the NRA. So yeah,
That was nice.
Yeah.
That's a good burn. Sorry, George.
Jesus Christ, though. I'm. Anyways, it just sucks that all these. It just sucks that all these people fucking died, bro, for nothing. They are the fucking.
Do we know
grocery store.
are the victims' names
I
public
think
now?
yesterday I'm pretty sure, unless it was something else, but I think they were. It was the Asian, the attack in that salon there where they killed.
Oh yeah.
I think it was those names. Sorry about that. I don't know
deal
about
with that. Was that a hate crime?
No,
or
it wasn't a hate
just
crime. Even
singling out sex
no, he was a
workers?
weird sexual deviant apparently, and
It just so happened that place had mostly Asian workers.
yeah, it's just that's who works in massage parlors. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
he
whole-
even said it. That was crazy too. Is that he even says like, no, it wasn't race related. And then the media's like, well, we already wrote the headlines.
Yeah, I mean, it's really become it's the BLM of 2021, like Asian hate now.
Oh, no, there's gonna be another one after because they
Who
have
else
to.
is left?
They have to keep separating us.
Yeah,
There's no. I remember soccer. Like I remember it was stop racism, stop the hate.
Yeah.
It wasn't compartmentalized. Okay, this week, just don't be mean to Jews. This week,
it's
stop.
complete-
Just don't be fucking racist. I don't care who it is. Don't be a fucking dick.
Your goal is to stop racism.
Yeah. Stop dividing people by race.
It's completely anathema to your cause.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But if I say that, people will be
just
like,
seems
"Well,
that
he's a white
being-
guy. That's why he
Yeah,
said it,
that's
right?"
why. Yeah.
But it
I
just
don't
seems that
identify
they're
as a
being-
white
You're
guy.
only Greek when you say stuff they like.
But
When you say stuff they don't like, you're a white guy.
Yeah.
It also seems that the last year, at least, they've been singled out, right? And I have a friend actually,
Yeah,
and I shared it on Facebook.
Asians have been getting beat up.
I mean, because
Yeah.
of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't
last
argue
year,
that.
last year has been tough. There was an article in La Presse. It was a friend of mine. His name is Winston Chan. I shared it on Facebook if you guys want to read it. And basically, he explains how this last year it's been particularly hard for the Asian community. He's very involved, right? This guy, he's really socially active and he's plugged everywhere. He's been part of the many measures for the city of Montreal and Quebec on
We
making
could solve
sure
this by giving Asians guns.
They don't need guns. Their hands are registered weapons. Sorry, Asians. It was a good joke. I'm sorry. It's all in good fun.
No, but basically, the Asians being beaten up, their businesses being.
This is true. This is true. I've seen this.
Yeah. And
The
this
idea
has
that you
been
would
happening
blame
in
the
last-
Asians for like COVID is crazy. I mean, you want to blame the Chinese government. That's fine.
Yeah.
Blame
Yeah, but
Chinese
people
nationals
are
for
too-
destroying the housing market.
Yeah, but
sure.
people are too stupid to do that.
we're
What are they
talking
going to do
about
against the Chinese government?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
they
talking
take
about
out their
human
frustration on the
stupidity.
neighbor.
Exactly. Because they're retards.
Yeah.
So this last year, I mean, I understand the point. Racism is racism, and you shouldn't be dividing everyone. But this community, particularly, has been targeted in the last year because people are just dumb. They're just fucking stupid. They see an Asian person, they're like, "Oh, COVID! You brought COVID here," and they punch people out.
And the
You
guy's
saw
like, "My
that
name is
clip
Steve.
of
I was
that-
born here. I've never been out of the country."
But what's your last name? It's Lee. It's Lee.
Yeah.
Did you see the I think it was in BC, this old lady, some guy punched her in the eye and then she beat him up with a stick.
That was great.
I
Yeah,
saw
she beat
that,
the
yeah.
shit out. He went to the hospital.
Yeah, hospitalized.
But like, I read, was it her who's been here for like longer than my family? Because in
Maybe.
Vancouver, the Chinese community, or not only the
Yeah.
Chinese community, but the Asian community in general, the East Asians, they've been here since the fucking railroad.
Yeah.
Like they're more Canadian than me.
Yeah, they helped build this place.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
built this city on rock and on. I was gonna make a bad joke.
On Walk and Wool.
I didn't say it. See, you can say that.
I can say that.
Yeah, I
Um,
can't say that.
it is fucked up, George. I've been seeing videos all year actually, but it was mostly black guys beating up Asian men, and I was like, "Fuck, man, there is no peace in the States. It's just everyone's beating each other up for no reason.
Nuts, bro. In the States is bananas right now. It's completely.
I'm telling you, the media is fueling this shit. The hate your neighbor. No, this and that.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
The media is the enemy of the people.
Yeah, come together and realize that anyone doing that shit is your enemy. It doesn't matter who they're doing it to. If they're doing it to an Asian, if they're doing it to an Arab, if they're doing it to a black guy, to a white guy, they're your enemy if they're doing that. They don't want peace. Whoever's doing that is a fucking imbecile, and you don't want them around. That's what you need to. It's not like, okay, this week we have this. Oh, the poor Asians are doing, poor Indians, oh, poor Greeks, poor this. No, everyone. You should be against it no matter who's getting.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, it's just gotten to a point, especially in the U.S., where gun violence has reached this ridiculous peak. I mean, where does it stop? Is it like when is it enough, right? I mean,
Are you talking about the massage parlor guy now?
Everything. I mean, even the previous years. I mean, it's like the school shootings too. I mean, it just.
I mean, if you think about it, George, 2020, no shootings.
Well, there was a lot of shootings in Chicago, but they weren't at school.
I mean,
You're talking about New York City, bro. There were people getting executed.
People getting executed in the middle of the street in New York, actually, this year.
What, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It was completely fucking insane.
Yeah, you didn't remember
By
this?
the cops.
No, the cops weren't even able to make it on time.
Yeah, bro. This is
I
why
remember
this is why I don't open Twitter.
Yeah, you know why you don't remember this?
year
Yeah, it was on
crazy.
Twitter. Yeah, the reason why you don't remember this is because that wasn't what the news was showing you. They were trying to show you that less cops was a good thing for New York streets.
Oh, right.
It's fucking war, bro. People were getting. You remember the guy who got him and his kid got shot?
Yeah, no. It was I think I showed you this, right? It was he was walking his kid.
Oh yeah.
And then
He was. Why did you do this? Like he had him on a leash. He was
like,
walking his
whatever.
kid.
He was walking with his kid. You know what I mean?
That is true though. He did that.
I did
He's
do that.
walking
I
his
don't know
kid.
why I
Yeah,
did
kid, I
that.
take a shit.
But bro, the guy is walking with his child, bro.
This is in broad daylight.
This is broad daylight. Right? This guy sees the car creep up and he prepares. He turns his back because he knew he was gonna get shot. Yeah, he said something to his kid, I guess. Bro, roll down the window, ba ba ba, in the head. Guy drops, kid runs off.
Okay, here's my question.
This is in the middle of the day.
This is in the middle of the day.
This
bro.
guy who saw the car creep up, who had the foresight to stop and turn his back and shield his child, why did he know all those things? Was he a criminal?
Regardless.
Not regardless. If you live a life of crime,
I understand, but
But they were never this brazen.
yes.
oh, that's what you're getting at. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I mean, in the 80s they were.
No, I mean now, like it wasn't.
biggie,
It was
bro.
during the whole defund the police thing that everything went. What we're saying is, the more you make people hate each other and divide each other, you're gonna cause this type of stuff. The more kids you give them, you don't talk to them, you give them pills, you let them mask their depression, you don't let them talk about it, get out. The more they're gonna have outbursts, whether it's self-harm, harming other people. It's not. The be-all, end-all, even though there has to be laws that make sense, the be-all, end-all is not getting rid of all guns because the root of the problem, whether it's the depression, the inequity, that has never been solved. So if a kid, he's able to shoot himself in the head or choke himself, he's going to do one or the other if he's so fucked up that that's going to happen. We have to address the real issues, but nobody wants to talk about them. Instead, they're dividing.
When we come out of COVID, whenever that is, I don't know when that's going to be anymore. When we return to some kind of a regular existence, gun violence will explode. And I don't mean mass shootings only. I mean like suicide. Because there's an entire generation of preteens right now who are getting they're getting fucked.
Yeah.
Right? This is not a normal thing for them.
No, I mean,
And there's nothing being done about
we
it.
spoke about this early on, where we were very much concerned about people having to stay home, where, you had cases of domestic abuse and they're staying home with their husbands and all these situations happening. I don't know if
To
you saw
even it out, I've been going to people's house and beating up their wives.
You're
But did you
a fucking
see,
hero.
I'm a hero.
I wasn't gonna talk about it, but there was news that came out yesterday of some guy that beat up his wife in LaSalle.
I mean,
I beat her up far away from my house. Yeah.
the demographics of
No,
LaSalle
but I mean,
speak
it's
for
like,
themselves.
and that there was a history of domestic violence there. I'm not sure exactly what the story is. I kind of just read quickly through it, and this is probably much more common than we think.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's
very
common, and I think it's very common.
Yeah,
and
women
I've,
are getting
I've
the shit kicked out of
experienced
them,
it
yeah.
firsthand, like victims when I worked in the CLSC.
Yeah,
Like,
when
they
you
would
said I
come in-
experienced it firsthand, like my wife beats the shit out of me.
No. I mean, if she ever raised her hand to me, I'd cower.
Cow?
Cower.
Oh, okay. I thought like you tip her over. Like, I was like, what is it?
What?
Like,
No.
yeah. I was like, what's that?
you thought I'd cow her.
Her, yeah. I was like,
I
what?
just start milking her.
I've never heard that used.
Cower? To
Cow
cower?
her.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
okay,
he just
okay.
misunderstood what I
Yeah,
said.
yeah, that's what I was like. I've
No.
never heard that used.
I mean, how do you hit a woman back? Like, if a woman tried to hit me, I'd be like, oh, shit, I got to take this now. I can't hit a woman.
Nothing. You just
That's
catch her
fucked.
hand.
You see, look, say Esther was just happy this morning, dropping in the super chat, just wanting to thank us he's trying to get through his exam.
I mean, if you're using this instead of studying, thank you, but go study.
Thank you, George, for coming back. He says, "Good, welcome back, nice." So yeah, it's
Did George leave at some point?
Well, he wasn't around for an episode.
I wasn't here last week.
Oh, right.
So it's just it's for me. Here's the thing, I feel bad when shit like this happens. Guys, see videos and it's like out of nowhere. Like the Asian lady, let's say, literally not even a confrontation. Her crime why the guy wanted to beat her up is because she was an Asian lady. Yeah. So you see shit like that, you're like,
that guy's a dick.
Yeah, you see shit like that, and you're like, but is the problem really just being like, divide people, be like, oh, that's different. She's Asian, she's different. Oh, he's Indian, he's different. He's black. Is that really the thing? Or addressing why the fuck people are stupid enough to believe in dumb shit to do that? Same thing with the guns, like school shootings, right? Every time there's a school shooting, there's nothing more tragic. There's kids that lost their lives, all the potential gone. Okay. You think it's because a kid found a gun? He's like, a gun? I gotta kill people. No. Something led the kid. Let's talk about what's going on with our youths. We're in the most advanced time ever so far, right? And we have fucking people that there's so much sadness or hate or something's happening, some misunderstanding, some chemical imbalance, that they're willing to end it for other people, for themselves. Why are we scared to talk about it? That we're fucked up, that we're flawed, we fucked up somewhere along the line with people.
I don't know if we're scared.
Psychologically, I think a lot of people the news doesn't talk about it. Even Bell Let's Talk is like a big deal.
Yeah.
Every year, because people are like, oh yeah, fuck, finally someone's talking about it. It's the truth. We all know it's the truth.
I mean, mental health I've never understood it personally, that it has this taboo. Like, I've talked about being anxious on the show and dealing with it.
Me and you have, let's say, anxiety, right? We don't have, I want to kill him or kill him. Because we have to address shit like this. We have to talk about it.
It still falls under mental health, right?
Yeah.
And the second mental health is taboo, then the idea that you've thought of hurting people, that's double taboo. That's scary to talk about. If I ever had the urge to hurt people, I feel like I'd be nervous to even say it out loud because that makes it real.
Yeah.
So you have to lift this taboo. Like, for me personally, I don't think it shouldn't be taboo. I don't feel like I'm not embarrassed by it. And a lot of people who reached out to me, they're like, thank you so much. I'm like, guys, all I said is I'm anxious and I had a panic. It's not a big deal.
And pre-COVID, George, I don't know if you know this, but pre-COVID, like there was a whole, like students, like apparently kids, mostly little girls, but it was happening to boys too. They had to deal with, for the first, I think it's just the first time that we're documenting as people are talking, widespread depression, anxiety. These are kids, bro, going to school, should be having fun. And they had depression, anxiety. So what is it? What did we do in the last 20 years to fuck up our youths? Why are we scared to talk about it and be like, guys, let's admit it. Somewhere we fucked up. It wasn't the gun that fucked them up. It wasn't the something fucked them up, and it's leading us to do stupid shit. Let's address that stuff.
And also the fact that, in certain cultures, like Phil says, it's taboo, but in certain cultures, I mean, we're still living in that mindset where what happens home stays home and it's no one else's business, right?
And Christine, that's not shameful, by the way, because Christine says she is very shameful. She never thought to hurt anyone, but she tried 2 suicide attempts before she reached out. It's not shameful. It's not shameful that you tried that, and it's not shameful that you reached out. That 100%, it's not shame. There's zero shame in that. The shame would have been if you had hurt someone, but there's no shame in that at all. The shame is societally the fact that we've pushed people to not be able to talk about stuff, not be able to open up, and then they get to levels where they kill themselves or other people. That's shameful.
Honestly, part of me believes that it's not shameful just because you were able to write it. You already
it's not
know
shameful.
Instinctively that
it's not. It's not shameful. As a whole, it's shameful what we did to people to like muzzle people so they can't express their feelings. You know what I mean?
I feel like recently there's more and more effort putting into this mental illness and sensitizing the population. I mean, every year you have Bell Talk, which is huge, right? Huge effort. There's a lot of money.
George, the flip side, the other side of that dagger is that words like depression and anxiety have become a watered down version of what they are.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like TikTokers going, oh, my anxiety when my boss calls. Like they've turned anxiety into almost this like running joke, and it's making it less what's the word? Potent as a message. They're watering it down. Like, just because you don't want to study for a test doesn't mean you have anxiety. Like,
Alberto says he lost a good friend to suicide last month.
Jesus.
Do you see what I mean? I'm telling you, it's more prevalent than we're told. It's more common. You're not the only person who thinks stuff. It's all this stuff is very common. Just that we've been conditioned the past 20 years, even earlier, but I mean now that there's social media, to not really talk about real problems. When you go on social media, you're only supposed to show your best self. You're only supposed to show yourself when you have a beautiful dress. You're only supposed to show yourself winning.
And these are additional, and these are added pressures, right? Especially to youngsters that look at these things and they see them as an example of what you have to be, right?
I can never be damaged. How can I be damaged? Look at all my friends. Look at everything. Social media, so actors. Yeah. It's only perfect. Only perfection is on screen. So how can I be imperfect? That's terrible. That's bad.
But that's why there's experts that have described. They go, don't pay attention to social media. That is a highlight reel.
Yes,
of course.
But you're saying this to adults that grew up without social media. Like, I don't take it seriously. I don't give a shit. Like, I post dick jokes and I'll post a photo of myself. It doesn't matter.
Even cyberbulling that falls into that same category of what social media has done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Send me a
so
crazy
what Pantelis is saying is interesting because there's the generation now using social media that was born into this. It's not like us that had no fucking clue what a cell phone was.
Yeah, so we know reality.
Ago, right?
We know reality is not perfect.
Exactly. So, and this is a main concern. I think that there are being efforts. It's being spoken. It's being talked about much more now than ever before. You have actors and athletes and big personalities that are being more vocal about it. They're becoming spokespersons, and that to some extent could strike a chord to some of these youngsters as well. To know that, oh, look, my favorite soccer player isn't perfect, and he had this issue or that issue, or he's talking about it. Maybe it is okay, and I think there more of that needs to happen.
Yeah, a lot more of that does need to happen. A lot more of that doesn't happen. Women and girls apparently. Men deal with it a lot too, but women and girls apparently, because of social media, get mentally fucked over.
I mean, the sad truth is, it's probably boys and men also. It's just not.
They just don't talk about it enough. So there's no
because that's one of those few things that is trending right now that I do agree with. That men have a harder time reaching out. Again, not my experience because I have no filter and I don't know what privacy means. But yeah, men have a hard time. Like
that's why shows like Just Us Dads is very important. People,
look at that plug. Hit that music.
Hit that music. We don't want to depress anyone. It's just like
no, it's not depressing.
I don't want people who watch this or whatever, if they do have anything, to feel like they're alone and they're weird. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's just me, so I gotta hurt it. Like, no, fuck. Everyone's going through shit. I'm telling you, it's not you.
The fact that we're talking about it is hopeful.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Look, there are funner shows. Actually, right now, in about a minute, 2 Drink Minimum drops. New episode that we recorded last night, a lot of fun. We talk about shootings. We talk about people who think I am an exorcist. And for the last time, I am not an exorcist. Stop reaching out to me for that kind of stuff. I don't know what I am doing. I am not a wizard. I am a sexorcist. Catch Poseidon playing video games against children on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ThePoseidon69. Also use that handle, ThePoseidon69, on Instagram and Twitter. That's where you're going to find him tweeting and Instagramming. His hit show, In Bed with Poseidon, with his co-host, Annabelle, goes live this Saturday at 4 o'clock in the PM, only on Patreon. If you want the audio, last week's version of the show is available on Spotify right now, just in audio. You get it a week late and only the audio, but it's available. Check out In Bed with Poseidon, Spotify, iTunes, where the fuck you get your podcasts. The gentleman in front of me, Phil Balabanos, has new episodes of his hit podcast, Fill My Gaping Hole, every Sunday, 8 p.m. on his channel. Links are in the description. Also, as he is a professional filmmaker and he's out there making commercials, he can make your commercial if you are an official business as well. You want to look better than these goddamn villagers competing against you? Hire Phil. Links in the description. Prices, competitive, quality, non-competitive. All right, no one touches him. No one touches him.
What is he saying? That hurts.
No. I mean, no one touches. You're gonna get the top product you can get, especially for that price. It's never gonna happen in this city. My buddy, the newsman, George Jiggity Chandrizos, hosts Just Us Dads, podcast made by moms for dads. New episodes drop weekly. It is lighthearted. They talk about having kids in this century. It's very hard right now. Not only the century, the goddamn last 2 years have been crazy. It's been an up and down cycle. So Just Us Dads dropped new episodes. A lot of fun. There's clips on TikTok as well. I've noticed when I go on my TikTok that he has clips on there. YouTube channel, subscribe.
He doesn't understand how TikTok works.
He doesn't understand, but it's fine. The Backstage podcast, other podcasts where he interviews people of interest, is also out there. Links are in the description. The show here, you can support it on Patreon, patreon.com/Pantelis. If you sign up for a yearly subscription to the boss tier, you get merch. We got merch. We got 2 Drink Minimum, Pantelis Podcast, Pantelis Live. It's all there. Thank you guys for checking us out. We love you, but go fuck yourselves.
But don't. I mean, goodbye.